people hear us?
Testing.
Sebastian's is definitely working.
Alright, so.
You've got a scroll part now on your audio.
Yep.
Oh, you can hear him now.
Yep.
Yay.
Well, if you're one thing with the Tascam, so the wireless mics, those should be on actively working right now.
Oh, well, that's great.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, everyone, we got a little bit rocky start there with no audio and me probably like destroying your ears with like just putting my hands all over the mic.
It is in fact still working.
Well,
right?
that's fine.
That's fine.
This is fine. We're here.
Fine. So we're bringing you some exciting modern time. If you've stuck around along with us for no audio, you're probably leaving now because you don't want to hear the commentary. But
Nathaniel.
it's great to be here.
We're here to talk, and like, it's better than listening to the void.
I'm joking.
Are you sure?
Sebastian.
It wasn't a funny one.
None of my jokes are
We
funny.
need to update this to 1-in-1, I believe.
Do we?
I believe so.
You said Bluetooth. I don't know. Be
They're in a new
Bluetooth
game.
speaker, not your earphone.
And we already
Okay.
recorded Andrew's first one.
Okay,
I
well
didn't
then
see
I
that
guess
on the other side of
we
your
missed out on a game while everyone's trying to figure out audio, but if what Sebastian is saying is true, then we're going to game 3 of Jeskai versus Hollow. It's not true at all.
It's not true?
Game 2.
Yeah, it's game 2.
So if it, well, it's weird that
What?
It's
Okay.
game 2.
It took them that long to shuffle?
Yeah.
Okay.
so OBS says it's desktop audio too, even though OBS identified this as
So-
a different channel.
How much experience
But
do you
it's
have
this
playing this
that's
matchup?
providing desktop audio too.
I have played a decent bit from the Jeskai control slide, and I am never really happy to see it.
Desktop audio.
Never happy to see it.
No, it makes me want to play like Settle or Rune Halo main.
Give it to you as an
Like
fair.
it's not something I enjoy going against as much as like humans Affinity Jund.
Yeah, it's not as much an easy win as it is against the other tier 1 decks in Modern right now, but if you had to give it a percentage rate, what would you give it?
60-40.
In their favor? Or in your
Yeah,
favor?
in Hollow One's favor.
Okay. I think that the control decks, provided that they don't get buried early on, can actually take this matchup pretty easily. It's just that it's really dependent on how far you get behind early game. And late game, they can also be a bit of a pain because they have all those recursive threats like Bloodghast and Flamewake Phoenix and etc.
Yeah, something like a Flameblade Adept into like an early Bloodghast or two is easily going to be enough to put them ahead, and like you only have so many paths to exiles, and your board wipes just aren't as effective as they are in other matchups.
Yeah. Alright, so going to turn 2, Bloodghast coming back, and John has a Hollowed One plus.
Burning Inquiry,
Burning-
Goblin Lore, Faithless Looting, and it looked like
So he's going
A
for the
Flamewake.
guaranteed turn 2 Hollowed One here by casting the Faithless Looting, which will make his Hollowed One cost 1 mana.
did he pick up another looting? Yes.
Yeah, and he can pitch this Flamewake Phoenix and bring it back next turn, guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but he has a good chance of bringing it back, unless Andrew eats it with the Path to Exile. And he's able to do all this before Andrew's able to get any counter magic up.
He could cast his other looting if he decides to hold it. No, he's gonna pitch it, and then just cast this Hollow One.
Okay. So, and he does have the Flame Wake, and he chose not to pitch the Flame Wake, though.
Yeah, pitching the looting instead of Flame Lake is like kind of weird to me.
I don't like that a ton, if I'm to be entirely honest.
Like Flame Lake's not a card you want to be casting. Oh, look at me! I have Path.
Well, 3 paths, so that's
That's kind of what you want for the matchup.
kind of what you want. So Andrew probably gonna take this game.
I think he also has a Snap, so like 4 Path to Exiles, a Bolt, and some land drops.
John needs a burning inquiry here.
I think he has a Burning Inquiry and a Goblin Lore.
He has a Burning Inquiry, and there's a chance that it could high roll him to a victory here.
If Andrew ditches triple Path, even double Path,
Sure, he's just gonna go and fire off 2 paths in response.
What's the next one?
Kind of leaves John with nothing really in play, no threats, and he now just has to hope to draw on something good and hope that Andrew pitches like his Snapcaster and his path.
Yeah, pitching Snap Path would make you go from I'm not feeling good about this game to how do I lose this game?
Yeah. There are certainly ways to lose it, even if that does happen, but I think that he needs that to happen to have a chance.
Earlier, too,
Right.
about pairings.
So,
This way of doing pairings where you have one person go twice and just alternate, like stagger the twos and have one person stretch from match 1 to match 6. You can instead do 3 people for rounds 1 through 3 and 3 people for 4 through 5 and still do the doubles, but the stretch is only from round 1 to round 3 and round 4 to round 6.
Just have the 2 brackets rather than the 4.
Yeah. Yeah,
Alright.
and you still get
so
everybody is doubled.
Andrew's
except
going to
for if
discard
you do
Path,
stretch, like Ryan here,
Snapcaster Island.
first and last, he would just
So
yeah.
it's pretty optimal for John there.
Yeah,
Though he
he's-
picked up another Snapcaster, so he's fine here.
that's still fine. It's his one removal spell to John's now, I believe, 3 threats, counting the Bloodghast.
Yeah.
He did miss bringing back a Bloodghast off the Path Exile,
Because then you've got like 6 places you can put them rather than just 3.
but yeah, this isn't great for him.
Yeah, I usually try to go to sleep by like 10:30. But
Snap, bolt from Andrew. Bolt that.
Yeah, bolt that.
we'll
That's
be
pretty
moving
simple.
Much closer. Much closer.
If you, Sean, if he can switch me around, I can play later if I need to. If you need to leave earlier.
That's alright.
Alright, so he picked up
Flashback Faithless Looting. I kind of like putting the souls in the graveyard and start making bodies that don't just
No, this is fine.
die to one thing.
Yeah. That's and
So,
I mean, like playing the Bloodghast isn't that much different than putting it in your in play. So like,
Wednesday, Thursday, class is completely.
but from this point, it's gonna be real hard for John to really get back in it.
Right.
The combination of removal spells plus Snapcaster Mage is just like
Lockpicks.
I can't.
kind of prevents John from really
They
getting
don't
any
have this
traction.
Cool, tension wrench. So it's a cylinder that's hollowed out in the middle. It's got 2 forks on the inside, and you apply the tension on the outside, and you can actually rotate it. You can pick up through the inside of it instead of having to hold it, or hold the tension or something.
Sure, gonna cast that Logic Knot.
It's like, so you're like, it's great.
And John's doing not a lot of anything. Andrew's also not doing anything to get himself ahead, but he's keeping up with what John's doing.
You don't really need to do that much to keep yourself ahead. Like if you're able to just like eventually get to a Teferi, then you're gonna slowly start taking over the game.
Yeah,
And from
finding
this-
like Teferi, Searcherous, Kanta, or I think he's playing a Rev. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, and at this point, John is so low on resources that he's not really going to be able to do anything contest what Andrew is doing.
Except for one, and it was somebody's house lock that they replaced, and they just gave me the cord to screw around
But
with.
I think it can be really hard.
It was kind of old.
Bloodghast triggers.
Probably not your picking then if it's.
So
Nope.
he can certainly wait on the Bloodghast trigger and do it on the end of Andrew's turn, but it looks like he's deciding to crack that fetch now.
Which is not very
And I do
cool.
have to hope that he does bring back that Bloodghast.
It defeated me pretty thoroughly. I had two, because like front of the house, back of the house. So I took a Dremel and opened one up, and every single pin had 2 pieces, and the topmost piece was like.
Does not get the
eye-shaped.
Bloodghast.
Doesn't get the
So I
Bloodghast
thought I was
trigger.
getting-
Okay.
I thought I was fighting
Sure.
like one particular.
Gonna
thing.
cast
I
the
was
Lingering
fighting
Souls,
every
gonna
time.
flash back the Lingering Souls,
Right,
gonna get 4
let me
spirits.
get this straight. Right, so you got your bottom pins. Then you've got
And Andrew's gonna go and snap Logic Knot this
inside the
Lingering
the
Souls, which
vault
is
itself,
fine.
there are
It's gonna leave
pins.
John with
Above
only
that.
2
Is there
1/1
a
flying spirits,
pin
and those aren't
above
huge
the
threats
bottom
when you have a
pin,
Celestial
but
Colonnade.
between the top pin. For example, they're master pins that can be put into a cylinder above the bottom pins.
Right.
So
No,
the
I
two
believe
separate
it
keys
was
work.
still 2 pieces, but the top pin in every case had a cutout around the center. So every top pin as I was going up was getting sideways.
John thinking. Another Lingering Souls?
Yeah, probably just gonna go for double Lingering Souls again. Sure.
Do we know what's in Andrew's hand?
Not particularly.
Kill lock, you can't pick those.
Snapcaster. Is it 1 card or is it multiple cards? Okay, sure.
After screwing around with that for a while, then I gave you a couple other locks. This is a
Gonna go and flashback the Gleaming Souls, so now he has a good amount of
This is
spirits.
the Master Lock.
Andrew's gonna block 1, he's gonna take 1, putting him down to 12, and leaving John with 5 spirits.
Than as a regular key.
Yep. This one's got
Insane.
2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
And I think that
Alright,
one-
so Andrew swings number 2, John decides to just keep his spirits and not bother.
It's older than me. Like
Yeah.
the building is twice as old as us.
So here's a nifty thing. In addition to Medco, there's these a lock type called Primus. And what they do is you can have up to 6 pins on the top, but the cylinder has fingers on the side. So these keys are cut.
Alright,
from the
so
bottom
Andrew's
and
gonna go and
inside
take
the
4,
key
go down
very
to 8.
bottom, and then the key
and-
top pins. The keys themselves can't be cut.
1 spirit size, the Celestial Colonnade has 3 damage on it. Now, John's choosing to Lightning Bolt the Celestial Colonnade, which I think is a little weird. Like, there's a second Celestial Colonnade, and you might as well just save that for face at this point. Because that's actually a pretty decent way to win the game. Because you can deal 3 and then you can deal 2 the following turn. Without it, Andrew has no additional interaction.
Right, like killing the colonnade doesn't change Andrew's. Because he has the other colonnade, it's not like pushing extra damage through, like
Yeah.
just lightning bolt going face would.
It's not actually doing much. Looks like John picked up a hollowed one, which is fine. He also discarded a lightning bolt, which I... Okay. Sure, now Andrew's going down to 7, and John has a hollowed one in play.
We're going to try to be nice, but you're really crazy.
Nope, snap past that.
She gets to a point in the conversation. She may have to do this one before, but now she's trying to prove that it needs to be reviewed again. At some point, though, ethically, we're not supposed to go. Now we're not doing this. But
Alright,
she's
so
in this conversation, she claims people are like,
now Andrew's going to snap off Serum Visions.
my daughter and my son.
Bottom deck both of those, and he's now going to try to start getting aggressive with the Sister Colonnade plus Snapcaster Mages. So, the bolt would be lethal.
Yep. Unfortunately, the bolt's gone. He has missed so many blood casts. Jeez.
He's missed a fair amount of blood gas triggers. So, at this point, he can swing him for 3, put Andrew down to 4, and have 3 blockers left, and hope that he doesn't face down any removal spells. He can play around multiple removal spells, or he can play around exactly 1 removal spell.
Play this first. Yeah. Because you just start a blood gas to win.
Alright, so he's gonna go and flash that back, draw 2 cards.
Andrew just told him how to win.
Just that, man.
Yeah, it's playing
He-
that.
Yeah, you have to leave 3 creatures up.
He had lethal though. He could cast the flame wing. Oh wait, no, he couldn't play the land and do that. Hell yeah.
Fun. Whew.
Alright,
You
So-
might be right.
Die, just die.
alright. So looks like John's going down 2, and he has 3 damage in play.
Yep.
So
Draw a
John
card,
has a lot of
feel rid of it. It destroys it, we will search for a basic card.
sure.
Alright, get straight.
My boy.
Game 3.
He should have sammed it. He did. That's how Andrew was pushing.
Yeah, I agree. Stop on your upkeep.
Attack
I'd
you-
like to lightning
attack
bolt you.
for 4. Bolt. Why'd you save that?
Because it's funny.
Bolt.
Oh, you know I'd do it with that. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I know you do it.
Or you wait till you think he's got a bolt.
When you pass priority at the end of combat step, bolt you.
Did I get playing 2 matches?
I've done it in the end of combat.
I've cast like Blessed Alliance there, and that's
Nah.
about it.
I have cast the most
lethal burn spells?
disrespectful burn spells.
I like the comment
Yeah, I heard.
below or Onyx.
Bang, bang.
Alright, so... Alright, so they're going to game 3, though. All jokes about BMing aside.
They're not jokes.
That's,
They're
all,
not.
all comments about things I've done in tournament.
Same my life as you?
Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. This whole night hasn't been the most professional from our side.
Well, no, because you couldn't hear us for 45 minutes.
Yeah. It's been a mess. The holiday weekend, our stream technical guy just got back in town from Georgia, and let me tell you, Georgia just takes it out of you. Georgia's not a great place. Don't go to Georgia, guys. If you live in Georgia, I'm sorry.
Leave.
You should leave Georgia.
Georgia's not fine.
Georgia's like it's
Our
low
state
tier.
is eroding right now into the ocean.
Nice.
Sean, I'm not saying our state is good.
Virginia.
Virginia's
least
a bad-
it's not
Notice where all the
Georgia.
roads are underwater, or water is under roads where it wasn't before.
All right.
That darn water.
You know where water is?
Keep water
In
out
the
of
steam vents casting the Serum Visions.
All right. So turn one, Fetch Shock, Steam, Advanced Serum Visions. I love Grix of Shadow.
Settle the
And-
wreckage? Yes. Card is good.
Silent Wreckage, real good card. Not much to say about that.
All right, John, show me the money. Burning Inquiry?
It sure looks like you
It's a surgical.
Why? My boy, why are you like this?
Swing and a miss.
Why would you do this?
It wasn't a swing. He just like tossed the bat.
What's happening? Can I go home?
No, you may not go home.
Nathaniel, right? Dang it.
You just said I probably should have gotten the serum.
Hey! Howdy.
Was that? We have no viewers right now?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. So let's break down why we didn't like that play.
Okay, I'd like to start. Andrew's on Jeskai Control.
Yes. So surgical
He's-
extraction is not that great to sideboard in.
Surgical Extraction is a card you want for like combo decks and lands.
Yeah, you can. It's defensible to bring in if you control deck versus the control matchup. Even then, it's not good.
His Snapcaster Mage. He didn't wait. He just hit a Flooded Strand with it.
Yeah, because you took the 25 land deck off of
And
its
he was
lands.
thinking about what if he wants to use it before he discards it burning inquiry, but at the same time, I'd rather discard that than like discard any other card because surgical extraction of flooded strand is really bad unless you're trying to hovel your opponent and their hand is just 3 more flooded strands, and that'd be hilarious, and that's probably why he did it.
Are you saying surgical extraction was a mistake?
Yes. I'm
Yes,
saying.
Surgical Extraction should not be in this matchup.
Surgical extraction was a mistake of a card because Phyrexia Mono was a mistake. Oof.
Oof. You know what else was a mistake? Like casting it, because now Andrew has a better chance of drawing.
So it looked like Andrew discarded 3 lands and has no lands in hand.
Kingry's Master Plan.
He has 1 land in hand and a Serum Visions.
Okay, he has 1 land. Okay. I didn't see the 1 land, and I was about to like.
2 lands.
Okay.
See, it's a
Disappointing.
25 land deck. What's gonna go wrong?
He played a 4-4 on turn 1.
Okay.
He did. He did play a 4/4 on turn 1. That's
He also has 3 exiled Flooded Strands, so like
Cost him 8 life.
get
4
wrecked.
life.
that'll show him.
so. John basically started on a mulligan here by doing that, which is fine. He does have the 4/4, and he's. I don't know what he's going for here. I think he's going for Goblin Lore, and Goblin Lore has a lot of room to high roll. This deck should literally just be called high roll.
What does Goblin Lord do?
Goblin Lore allows you to pay 2 mana to draw 4 cards and discard 3 cards at random. For those who don't know,
It's control the board.
If I knew how to use the buttons on the stream box, I could do that.
That's fair.
Exclamation point.
Silver Dragon
I don't think so.
Seeker, thank you for the follow.
No, it's Silver
Follow.
Doctor A Gun.
I don't think that's how you say. Anyways, thank you for the follow. It's always great to have more people getting there. TM. Ricky, don't touch the things.
I'm not touching it.
All right, so
Why is Surgical Extraction here?
so it looks like John's gonna end up pitching a Burning Inquiry, a Lightning Bolt, and a
Fetch land.
Fetch land, and he's left with Lingering Souls, another Goblin Lore, and I can't tell what else is in his hand. He has a 3rd land.
Bolt you.
Bolt you.
Andrew's choosing to throw a Lightning Bolt at the dome. Thank you, Silver Dragon Seeker. You're the best.
Lingering Souls?
No, he's just gonna throw out
Speedy Boy.
Speedy Boy.
Snap target bolt block all on. Okay. Or I'm gonna fetch better.
Sure.
Mm.
So he's gonna block.
Fetch better, play better, Walmart.
So he takes 2, trades off Snapcaster plus Bolt to kill off the Hollowed One and leave John with just a 2/2 flying minion in play.
This isn't Hearthstone. I just say 2/2 flying creature. Not a monster, not a vanguard, not a minion.
Alright, so snap Serum Visions, draw a card, do some scrying. See.
Verdict, yes. Mana Leak, no.
Sure.
Me too. Go ahead.
So now they're just kind of in a racing situation.
I think John's deck is slightly better suited for
That
racing.
Liliana, though, is actually not bad. Because you can just slam down that Liliana, down ticket, make Andrew, or up ticket. He can down tick or up tick. Both options are quite fine here. What do you personally care from his side? Because you can remove his 1 creature, and then he has to throw a bolt at it to remove it. At which point he's losing 2 cards still with the Liliana. Or you can make him lose 1 card in play plus 1 card in hand. And it looks like he's choosing to go for the plan of uptaking it, trying to eat away at Andrew's hand, and not worry about the Snapcaster that's in play.
I personally would have made him sack his Snapcaster, so Andrew does have to burn his removal on the Liliana instead of the Snapcaster, else he's taking care of Andrew's clock. Currently his only clock until maybe next turn when he fires up the Colonnade.
Yeah. So John just gonna go and fire off an uptick here. And looks like he's choosing to discard 1 of his Lingering Souls.
What does he have in hand? Thank you. I am Sebastian. Andrew's not commentating and playing.
I mean,
Not anymore.
I think you tap him up on.
Alright. So he's gonna flashback both of his Lingering Souls. I kinda like just flashing back 1 Lingering Souls personally.
Yeah,
Like there's no reason to overextend your Lingering Souls like that.
I wouldn't like it.
So that means that next turn he's gonna eat that Supreme Verdict.
It
And
doesn't even it doesn't speed up the clock.
sure, he taps on team, draws a card, prevents 4 damage, and then he's gonna Supreme Verdict next turn. Considering the fact that John's tapped out, I kinda like using Crit Command to possibly bounce the Snapcaster Mage as an option, but
Wear Terror coming in, I guess is Blood Moon Hate, but also just like removal spell for Hollow One specifically,
sure, he's holding up to Settle Wreckage,
which is fine.
which is fine.
Does John have any Bloodghast in graveyard?
And John just gonna walk into it.
To be fair, he's been out of the game and like doesn't know that Settle the Wreckage exists, I believe.
Yes.
You can search for a base, it's free.
Alright, so
Grab some basics.
he has to downtick to eat that Snapcaster Mage now. Because otherwise he does the combination of Celestial Colonnade plus that. And then he can cast like that Goblin Lord that's in his hand or whatever. Either way, not looking great for him, but he does have outs. Andrew is at 8 life and he does have a Goblin Lore in hand.
Consider the possibility that you milled it? Yes.
Alright, so I milled it, so he has no basics left. And just looking at his hand a little bit again. I think just fire
Is
up
it
that
Goblin Lore and Bolt?
So he has the option of bolting that Snapcaster Mage and then upticking, then casting Goblin Lore and eating the last card, but it looks like he's instead just he's gonna take the option that forces him into 1 line.
That Colonnade.
Okay, so that Colonnade can pull him down to 1, but then he can use the Liliana to get rid of the Colonnade. But that feels real bad.
Make the card not triggered.
So, on the left, on the
So
the tabs that are
Alright, John, make your piles.
his piles should be something like Celestial Colonnade, Red Land, all the other lands.
That's what I was doing.
right click on the card that you want.
It's also not the worst.
It's not the worst, but I kind of like just taking care of the red source and taking care of the, because then that
Yeah.
wouldn't be an out.
Yep.
How do I make that
So,
go live?
So in between the 2 screens,
That's a transition.
you wanna
Well, it's still out either way because he's gonna get bolted, so it doesn't really matter. But here we are.
But that's that.
That's that.
Like
So
that moto, he could choose the wrong pile to switch out the pile.
Because I was looking, everywhere for a button, or like a text box.
so that's that match. Next, do we remember we're swapping number 2 next?
Hollow One versus.
No, Hollow One has already had 2 matches.
Oh, has it?
It's gonna be Just Got Control versus something.
Ryan, on that one.
It's not as. Maybe it is as foretold. It's not humans.
It's Ricky and Andrew.
Okay, it's Ricky.
Oh, Boggles versus Jessica Control.
That's a very swingy matchup because like Jessica can kind of just sweep it, but they can also just get swept themselves.
Because, like, Boggles can have, like, an Umbra and then surprise a hexproof creature.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a little annoying. Especially
Andrew
for
won
game
that.
ones. Andrew, I think, is packing 2 Ruined Halos and to Settle the Wreckage. Which, Ruined Halo's just pretty sweet against Boggles. Settle the Wreckage, if he has Leyline, it's not going to feel great.
Yeah.
So yes, Jessica Control versus Boggles. After that, we have Boggles versus Goryo's As Foretold, which will be a spicy one. So, Jessica Control.
Alright.
Here we have Boggles.
So nothing super out of the ordinary. Are people still playing the Lifelink enchantment? Is that thing that's a little like Spirit Link? Is Spirit Link still seeing play?
I usually see it as a sideboard card, but I mean that card is not awful if you have so many creature decks as like expected matchups.
Okay, that's the only thing that I really noticed that like is worth noting. Sideboard has 2 Dampening Spheres, 2 SMPs, 2 Silumphoriums.
2 Hyena Umbros and 4 Spider Umbros. I think most lists are playing 3 Hyena instead of the Lifelink.
That's fair.
And then usually a different. I think some people are playing a different aura instead of the 4th Leyline.
Okay.
But yeah, everything else looks fine. What do you expect is going? Well, what is it? Oh, that's the Torpor Orb dude. Typically Honor Guard?
Yes.
Okay.
I also feel like Spirit Mantle is maybe usually a one-off.
Spirit Mantle's normally a one-of.
Okay.
But
So-
again, this might be a choice because there are enough creature decks out there.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And not much really to say about the deck, honestly.
It's a deck that's been around for a while, and it's
You know what it does?
you know what it does. You play one of them Slippy boys. You load it up with auras, and you go to town.
You pray to God that your opponent can't answer it, and if they can, well then, whoops, you're dead. But if they can't, a lot of decks are gonna have a hard time dealing with like a 12/12 flying lifelink, trample, indestructible, death touch.
Yeah, you cannot give a Death Touch or Menace.
I'm joking.
Well,
I'm just naming off things.
well, you're wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then Just Got Control. Aside from a few tech choices, it's close enough to the core. It's 1 less Logic Knot than normally is run, 1 less Lightning Helix, 1 more Settled Wreckage, 1 more Negate, 1 more Elspeth Sun Champion. And not much really further to say about that deck.
Not too much. Teferi can be pretty helpful, actually, bouncing an Umbra to the top of the deck to open up a Verdict or a Wrath effect,
Yeah.
which I have ran into a couple times, which is pretty helpful.
Tell them that they're good. Or that they're not.
You guys are good to start.
Alright, so they're starting. I'm curious to see who's on play. It looks like Ricky's on. Ricky doesn't have a turn 1 thing.
That's a basic plans.
And is he on a full 7?
We're gonna find out. Oh no.
Okay. So
I don't know what you're doing. If that's a 7, that's not really a keep.
if that's a 7,
5, 6, 7,
8.
8 cards.
So
He
8
was-
cards, he's drawn 2 cards, so it was a
No, he was on the play. He only drew 1 card.
Okay, so
It was his 7.
yeah, that was not a good 7. That was just a misplay on his part for keeping that 7, for being entirely honest.
There's a setting, I believe. You can make it do that.
And if he doesn't draw a land this turn, he's out of the game.
Yeah, I think it was a.
He's out of the game.
I forget where it was.
So now we're just gonna watch Andrew just kind of sit here for a little bit and eventually win.
Are we gonna see a snap bolt? Does he have snap?
Is this what people use?
Okay.
Like when they're playing video games.
Cycle Nimble Obstructionist. If it's just Core Spirit Dancer as his only threat, that's also going to feel pretty bad looking at this Electrolyze.
Well, I mean,
I stopped.
But he has like Mana Leak for a Boggle. I
he
don't.
has Cryptic Command. He has everything.
Andrew's not going to have much trouble. There it is. Fetch up this Hallowed Fountain.
You have to pay for XSplit. Or Hydro.
OBS is free, but XSplit is like a free trial. A lot of this stuff is limited because you can pay like a small amount.
Something is funny.
Apparently something's funny.
But OBS is free.
So, yeah, like nothing a lot really to talk about. Like, Boggle's player kept a loose hand and is getting punished by the counterspell deck.
Yep. He now has 2 counter spells for Boggles. He has Spell Snare and Removal Spell for Core Spirit Dancer.
Spell Snare.
There it is.
Yep, that's, yeah. I mean,
I kind of like using the Electrolyze instead of the Spell Snare for that, not only to cycle, but because Spell Snare can be useful against some of the auras. But that's just a small thing, unless he's wanting Electrolyze to go face this turn, which it looks like he is. I still think I value the 1 mana counterspell over going face for 2,
I think,
but that's just a small thing.
I don't think that, I think that both plays are honestly fine at this point. Like, I think that you can pretty much just go on autopilot and it doesn't matter because you're just so far ahead. So, got game 1.
That could be interesting.
Yep, Andrew got it.
Just interact more with the audience. Yeah. Oh wow, we're up to 17.
Into the sideboards already.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Whole game that way?
I low-key am tempted to just, like, swap with you and not play humans now.
Don't do that to me. I want to misplay.
That's fair. You're probably a lot better humans player than I am.
I have in fact activated Aether Vial more times than you have.
That's fair. I have cast more counter spells than you've cast.
That is correct. I think no, even if you hadn't played like standard control, I think you're still ahead by a decent bit because I played Taxes for so long.
I mean, I've basically played blue in every format.
You've cast probably 100 Stubborn Denials and went, ha, got 'em on every single one. Is that a correct statement?
I'm not that disrespectful when I'm playing Shadow.
No. In your mind.
In Affinity, I'll say out loud. They're like, tap out, I got you, and you're like, got 'em, countered. Untap, you're dead.
And it's not even 1 mana negate. It's like, look at my, my bad mana time, my bad force spike.
So, alright, we're gonna tell a quick story, boyos. Summon IQ, small little IQ, whatever. So, final round.
Small little IQ, like 800 people.
So, my opponent is pretty low for top 8. I have like a small chance of making top 8 if I win, because he got pair downs. He had 10 points on. I don't know, it wasn't 10 points. We were like 1 point different though. He was locked for top 8 if he won. So I was thinking about scooping to this kid, but then he starts like, as soon as I play an Affinity lane, he's just like, I hate your deck, along with some expletives. And so I'm like, oh boy, I want to take this kid to
Pound Town?
Take this kid to the dumpster real quick. So he's like playing Mono Green Devotion. I take game 1, game 2. He's like getting upset because I went turn 1 Steel Overseer, turn 2 Steel Overseer, Arcbound Ravager, turn 3 something else, pass, and he's like, all right, just slams down the 4-mana destroy all artifacts spell.
Creeping Corrosion.
Creeping Corrosion. And he's just like, destroy all of your artifacts. I just like throw down a Stubborn Down. I'm like, nah, kid.
So he hopefully put his deck in the trash where it belongs.
Oh, he threw his deck on the table.
Okay, good. Did he get in the trash can?
No, that's where he lives. He wasn't going to.
Oh. So wait, did he make top 8?
No, I beat him.
Oh, he was alive for top 8, not locked. Okay.
Yeah, he was live for top 8.
Did you top 8?
No, I got 9th, actually, on Breakers.
But it wasn't just the
I hope that kid's watching, because, like, that's what you get.
It was like .0001.
We're not going to talk about how close the Breakers were. I just didn't make top 8. That's all that matters.
That makes it funnier.
So if you smack it, there's a piece of hardware holding it in place. What I have is it's got the cable.
All right, so one of them is in the tank. I think it's Ricky.
Ricky's like, oh, another planes. Hopefully it's not another planes.
Ricky's like, hey, I don't have a Boggle in this hand. I want to keep it.
Is it like Nut Hand with no land? There's a land, there's a ley line.
Sure,
Looking
ley line's
okay.
fine.
Is there a creature?
I sure hope there isn't like a core spirit dancer.
There's a spirit dancer.
This is spirit dancer. It looks like Spider Umbra and a Daybreak Coronet.
Hope it lives.
Like it looks like it's alive right now,
And
but
he's waiting to just catch an aura with it.
yeah,
Show me the Umbra. That's a Rancor.
sure. Still
Oh.
draw a card.
Okay.
Yep, still draw a card.
Did he pick up an Umbra?
No,
I just want there to be an Umbra. If you couldn't tell. I want that spirit dancer to go to town.
so his hand currently has a ley line plus a Daybreak Coronet in it. I can't tell what the other card is.
Another spirit dancer.
Another spirit dancer. He's not throwing that out for fear of getting blown out by by Supreme Verdict. I almost kind of like throwing it out. Sure. Because like if he throws out the other core spirit dancer, he can start kind of like enchantressing his way into card advantage.
Yeah, like draw 2, and like Verdict's still a turn away, so he does have like a chance to kind of ride it to victory.
But he didn't draw one, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So he's throwing down a Glade Cover Scout and passing, and Andrew's just gonna swing for 2. Sure.
So weird things I might do is play the second spirit dancer and hold the hexproof guy,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
because then you're picking up a ton of cards. You'll eventually find a second boggle like that, but now you're
Sure.
open to Verdict. But it looks like Andrew's just wanting to play more aggro. He
Sure.
says, I don't need to Verdict. Crunch? Okay.
Swinging for 4, and Ricky just kind of hoping to draw into an enchantment, but the enchantment doesn't
Spirit
really
Mantle.
matter at this point because of the Cryptic Command.
Yes, Cryptic Command, EE, and Settle the Wreckage. The Settle kind of sucks. Unless he's planning on bouncing the ley line.
Yeah, that's a it's a play that he can make with
It's
bouncing the ley line, but it's kind of medium. And it's also like the most
Inefficient.
non-hidden thing. Like you're just saying, I have this Settle Wreckage in hand,
Yeah.
and it's like it's over 2 turns, so like they have the ability to play around it.
You're gonna draw a card.
Sure.
Counter the Umbra. Draw a card.
Counter card, sure. Draw a card. Alright, so now Andrew gets to search for a land and untap with 2 Snapcaster Mages and just continue to beat down for 4.
Mm-hmm. Bouncing the ley line may not be as out there if you're wanting to open yourself up to burn spells as a way to put in damage. So like, there's a chance it happens, especially if he bounces it early, and Ricky doesn't get a chance to recast it.
Yeah, that's
But-
fair.
Then again, I feel like this isn't going to like rely on settle and bouncing a ley line.
So at this point, Ricky can cast the Daybreak Coronet, but we know how that ends.
Not pretty.
Not pretty is the correct answer. And he can. It
We
looks.
see ley line, daybreak.
I think that's a path. Is that a path?
That looks like a path.
Looks like a path. Did you bring in the path, or is it in the main board?
There are 2 main.
Okay. You like keeping those in? Eh,
Not necessarily.
sure.
Pop.
Correct sign of turn. Now he gets to swing for 4, put Ricky down to 6. He can choose to swing for 8 and put Ricky down to 2. Sure. Path that. Only takes 4, goes to 6.
Path that.
Yeah, like, Ricky's pretty far out of this game. So, at this point, Ricky realistically has little time to dig his way out of this. He's facing 2-turn lethal, and his hand is currently not that great.
He needs to somehow have Boggle and Aura. this turn, but he's missing both of them. So like,
Picked up Horizon Canopy. He can cycle that for 1 mana.
it's a redraw.
It's a redraw, but it's not great.
Did he take one or did he fix that?
He fixed that.
Okay.
So if he didn't draw a Boggle this turn, okay, he drew a Boggle this turn.
Do you have? I don't think there's an aura. Nope.
It's a 3rd Spirit Dancer.
We're dancing.
We are dancing. Swing 4, put Ricky down to 2, if he chooses not to block. Sure. Takes 2, goes down to 4. This prevents him from dying to Cryptic Command, Lightning Bolt. Though realistically, he's gonna have a hard time beating Cryptic Command regardless. And it looks like he picked up another Daybreak Coronet.
Yep. I wouldn't scoop yet.
What are your outs currently?
I know he's still missing a creature.
Yep. So, Ricky just kind of, game 1, kept a pretty questionable hand. Game 2, he just kind of didn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
So not like a ton to talk about there, unfortunately.
Right.
So, gonna go and pull
Now
up
we
our
have the
Boggles, the classic of Boggles versus Goryo's As Foretold.
one of the most broadcasted matchups in the entirety of Magic,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like it's literally it is the staple of mod.
It is the melted ice cream of Magic.
Yeah, like this is just like people say, I want to play some Modern, and you're just like, are you gonna be on the Boggle side or are you gonna be on the Goryo's As Foretold side?
And they're like, you know what?
And
I'm gonna play both.
to be honest with you, I'm only friends with the people that are on the Goryo side.
But what if you activate your As Foretold to play a Boggle?
Okay.
Some people like it. I like it. I think you're just taking the 2 best decks in the meta and like,
You're kind of breaking the meta really by adding together As Foretold plus Boggles. Like you can.
what if next week we take pairs of decks and mend them together and then we have these garbage piles?
That sounds awful, but you know what we should do? We should do that like on a non-stream thing.
I'll stream it on my personal. It'll
Or-
just be like, just
If any of you boys in the chat want to see this in person, you can donate $5 to MTG Get There to see it happen.
you know what? We should start doing that, or we can have like monthly bidding wars for like awful stream ideas, and like the one with the most
Yeah,
Most
like
bids
that
gets
seems
it.
like a reasonable idea. If people want to like donate us money and be like $5 minimum though, but like we're not gonna go that low. Anyways, let's talk about the deck list. We have 1 Kiki Jiki, 3 Kiki Jikis.
they're just all spread out. Don't worry about
3
it.
Kiki Jikis.
They're in fact got
Choose-
wait 1, 2, 3. Where okay, it's confirmed 3.
Yes.
Go on.
2 Simian Spirit Guides, 2 Jace for Prodigy, 4 Steve Arc, 4 Grizzlebrand, 3 Living Ends, 1 Thirst for Knowledge, 4 Ancestral Vision, then you got your Asphalt, you got yours of Vengeances, you got yours of Charms, you got your Faithless Looting, you got Lightning Axes. It's a deck that,
You have a Goryo's package, a funky Splinter Twin package. You're wanting to Living Ends, As Foretold. You
this deck did not so terribly in a recent Classic, and it got a decent little bit of coverage because of that. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and
I
get
guess so.
going. So do we know who won the die roll?
no.
And
We'll
do we
find
know if
out.
Ricky found a keepable hand?
Well, he has 2 colors. He has a Boggle.
Oh my god, he has a ball.
He wins the game. Yeah, that's 1-0 for Ricky.
So, like, as it turns out, his deck is a lot more functional when he's actually able to draw his 1 mana Bogles.
Or play his 1 mana Boggles.
In general, play the namesake of his deck.
Play this
That being
tier 1
said,
deck.
I don't know how much that's going to help against the combo deck. The deck that can do infinite damage, you know, has instant speed board wipes.
See, but Ricky has life gain, so it doesn't matter.
How much life gain do you need?
I don't know, just enough.
Just
If Ricky
enough?
has like triple Ethereal Armor Rancor, like that might be GG's.
I think that'll be GG because of different reasons, not because of life link, if we're being honest here.
I mean, it's not getting lifelink, but you can put lifelink on it.
Yeah, you get that boy life link. Boys like life link.
All right, what do we got? What do we got? That's
got-
right. That's what I'm talking
You
about.
got an
Nathaniel.
ethereal armor?
That's
Alright.
big damage. Where's the Rancor?
Oh, that's not.
That's not.
That's 2 damage.
That's ouch.
That's not an ouch. That's a oof. That's not.
That's an oof.
You're not gonna full on ouch. You're gonna be like oof. Just oof.
You're gonna Roblox it. Ooh.
Gonna play my favorite Pokemon, Bidoof.
Bidoof? I think Weasel's a better Pokemon.
I went through an entire Pokemon run with only Bidoof as my Pokemon. I headbutted my way through the top Elite Four. Lance was like, here's my Dragon type, so I was like, here's my Bidoof.
And Ricky's like, here's my Daybreak Coronet.
Oh, that's some damage. Right there, that's 6 damage.
That's a lot of damage.
That's 6/6 lifelink.
Add it up.
First strike. Things.
Nah, this don't need to swing.
No, I'm only gonna attack with one Bogo. This is my win condition.
I sure hope it's not time to scree. It's time to commentate, I think.
Alright,
Whenever you get up.
so
So what is Sean working with? It's kind of hard to see what he's working with.
he's working with himself. That's how Sean works.
I
with
see
himself.
Spirit Guide Kiki and what I believe is an Exarch. I think he's just waiting for this to pop off and be able to,
Drawn to a Splinter Twin, most likely.
He has his Splinter Twin.
He has a Splinter Twin? Oh yeah, he does have a Splinter Twin, you're right.
Duh, it's just like one more mana.
It's basically better than Splinter Twin.
Yeah.
It gets brought back with Living End.
Ricky can't pop it with the Seal of Primordium.
He can't.
It's so good.
Things he is unable
Why
to
does
do.
that look like a Tribal Flames? That must be a Lightning Axe. What is that?
I don't know.
Is that the Spirit Guide and I'm just like blind?
It's probably the Spirit Guide, and you are definitely blind.
Ah, appreciate
That's
it.
why you have glasses.
I'm still blind.
Would you like to trade glasses? They won't help you, but you'll look better. I'm joking. You look fine.
I feel like I'm on a podcast where you just like continuously roast me.
I'm not roasting
And
you.
you're like, I have Prada lenses
No
and
one.
mango tea.
I have never
from...
brought up my Prada glasses on stream, but if
Actually, you just said it, so
I-
like, they're really nice glasses.
thank you.
So Sean is setting up for Spirit Guide Kiki next turn. Ricky, can you answer it?
I don't know that Ricky can.
Ricky, can you win? No. Untap. Take down. Draw.
All right, this
Land.
gonna be pretty good.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Do
I have
it.
a very specific adjective for this type of thing. It
Yeah, you
starts
do.
with H and
Yeah,
ends
you
with
do.
wipe.
H wipe. The heaviest wipe.
Hype. That was pretty hype. It actually wasn't hype at all. That was pretty medium. That was a Magic the Gathering game. There's no pop off here. I'm gonna start trying to like put more fighting game terminology into my Magic play. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that Dragon Punch in there.
Mix it up.
Gotta get some mix
Look
up.
at those mix-ups. Like playing Splinter Twin in Modern still. I think that's a pretty solid
The
mix-up.
problem is Ricky was doing a low block, but he got hit by the overhead. He just took it. He ate that overhead and he died. He took that forward.
Sean was like, "Open sesame. Here's this infinite combo," and Ricky's like, "I guess so." Oh geez.
Yo, Judge, what you need?
We press the judge button. What's the issue? Judge, how do I sideboard?
Judge, my deck doesn't have cards in it.
Judge, I got hit by an overhead. Ah! Don't yell.
Do we have one? Is anyone going in there?
I,
Drew went in there.
I think.
I
Yeah.
am technically a judge, but I am also on commentary. And if I move in there, you boys will hear me just like hear a bunch of like not great sounds from the mic moving around. You don't want that. No one wants that. We've already had like not enough audio. We don't want too much audio.
You have to like spread it out.
Spread out that audio, love.
We need more
Yeah.
stats.
We don't need more sass. We just need the audio in like neutral. We don't need to go into our like combo game yet. Can I read this Kiki Jiki?
So Sean, no doubt, trying to find his one English Kiki-Jiki, and apparently he actually does have one. Sean French, fun fact for the viewers at home, a man who loves his Japanese foils.
That is correct.
He
If it's played in Legacy Miracles and it comes in Japanese foil, he has
had-
it.
He had every card that could be Japanese foil in Miracles Japanese foiled at one point. I don't know if you fellas at home know how much that is, but that's pretty expensive.
That's like at least $200
It's at least $200. It
for just like a predict and a half.
may even be pushing $300 for the entire deck.
Wow, that's insane. Do we have a second to look at sideboards?
We might have a second. Who knows?
We might.
What do you want to see?
I just want to know what like Boggles has to interrupt with the
Let's just do a quick
combo.
little flip flop between the two.
Quick flip.
Alright, so rest in pieces, pretty easy on that. Path to Exile, maybe, I don't know.
Suppression field stops the Kiki combo.
Suppression Field stops the Kiki combo, but I don't know if you necessarily want that. How do you feel about your Leylands? Like
I don't think they're going to be doing enough.
it's reasonable they'll bring in discard spells, but not that reasonable. The Spirit Link is definitely cuttable.
Takali Honor Guard, another thing that stops the combo.
It's too fragile though. So, all right, let's
That's
swap
fair.
over to the other side though. So from this side, I could see repeals being brought in. I could see
Definitely
engineered
ease.
explosives, and aside from that, not much else. The Anger Gods get a small mission, but they're kind of a trap and usually not good enough. So with repeals and ease, I think that's fine, and you're not going to dilute your game plan all that much. So
All right.
Lightning Axis can definitely get cut here. All right. So Ricky Gombi on the start here. And see if he's able to find a hand with Bogles, green-white mana, and enchantments.
Hopefully not all ley lines and daybreak coordinates.
Ricky, we are quickly learning, does not have the best luck when it comes to things.
I lost the run to RNG.
Losing to the run to RNG is just the worst, and if you don't want to do that, don't be unlucky. It's that simple.
If you don't attempt to earn, you cannot lose to earn.
Alright, so Sean looking at a hand with Simian Spirit Guide. It's
Ricky's
Seabark,
like,
Sark,
here,
Mulligan.
look, I can play cards, I swear.
Sean's like, I want to mulligan down 5, we'll give you a chance. And Ricky's like, I appreciate that. I'm going to start with the God of Pharaoh's Gift in play.
Boogles. Boogles. Godfair's Gift. That's not the reanimate you want to be playing.
God of Pharaoh's Gift. That card had its moment in Standard. Like, is it still Standard playable? Sure.
It's standard legal.
Sure, it's Standard legal. Like, people still play it. So it's Standard playable. But it's pretty medium. So,
Uh-oh, no damage. Got a boggle. It's looking good. Spirebluff Mountain is his mana.
it's slightly awkward, but he does have the Faithless Looting. He has...
Yeah, he has something to
He has
do.
Ancestral Vision, which... No,
And
that's
as-
Aspertold. That's Aspertold.
Do you think he's going to turbo out this As Foretold and draw 3 cards? Because I think he will. It's Sean.
I
It
mean-
also seems like the right thing to do.
Like, Sean French is always a person wanting to try to cast his Ancestral Vision.
All right, Ricky, show me what you got.
Now, Ricky has the 3 damage, but he doesn't have the second land, so he's not able to actually start suiting up all that quickly, which does give Sean that little additional time he needs.
I
And-
feel like I saw a Seal of Primordium in his hand, but I may be wrong.
Well, that Sail Primordium is not going to be great considering he only has 1 land.
Correct. Another Spirit Mantle.
So, Ricky now having the problem of he has the Bogle, he has the enchantments, he has the green-white mana, he just doesn't have multiple green-white mana. So he's only able to,
He just needs one of whatever.
yeah, like he's slowly getting there, but it may not be quick enough.
You know, it is quick enough. Firing off Ancestral Recall.
Firing off Ancestral Recall is a pretty good play in all formats, as it turns out. And Sean's kind of just thinking about what he wants to do here. He's going to go and make himself draw 3 cards. And it's a pretty solid play.
Jace French Prodigy, Kiki Jiki, another Ancestral in his hand.
He's getting all the value. And
Sean's doing the value.
he's getting to the point where he can do the Steve Arksart Kiki Jiki thing.
Show me the land.
Yes.
That's the
But
land.
is it enough? He still has at least one more turn before he gets kikied.
Alright, so Spirit Mantle is going to allow him to get in there for 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, yep, 5 damage. And this puts Sean most likely dead next turn.
Doesn't look like he has the way to fire off the extra 3 points, though.
I know there's one in his hand and the second Spirit Mantle.
And is that charm counters target non-creature spell, right?
Correct. Unless I pay 2.
Just want to verify. Because he can counter it if Ricky casts a 2-mana enchantment. He can save himself that way. And if he has the... He can guaranteed win next turn if he has 1 more land. And Ricky taps out.
What is that? Repeal. Discard the Kiki. Transform. We're gonna flashback an Ancestral. Wait, does that work how I want it
Yes,
to?
it works exactly how you want it to.
Awesome.
Just flashback, draw 3 cards, no big deal.
Because it says you're able to cast it from your graveyard.
Alright, so
That
he's
would-
going to go and draw off of his Faithful Suiting. And now... So, if he doesn't have the... Oh, he has a Living End. Okay.
Living End looks like GG's.
Living End might be pretty good right now. I'm not...
You might go infinite after he draws 7 because it's funny.
I'm no expert on this game. But I think...
Use it to draw 3. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I will walk in there and rip off his headset and yell, do it.
Alright, so... He might... Like, I feel like he doesn't have the Living End at this point.
I definitely think you should flashback a little.
Okay. So he's drawing his 3 cards. And...
Up to one target creature gets -2/-7 until the next turn. I couldn't target your guy, but I could still block.
Sure.
Untap. +2 or 3?
He's
I thought that was a Daybreak, but it's an Honor Guard.
he's pretty safe right now. Like, he has a Repeal, he has an Isaac Charm, and he just needs to find that Living End.
Go to 18, play the Honor Guard. Because playing anything else isn't going to change your clock, and playing this, if he doesn't have interaction, will keep him off of Kiki.
Sean's gonna have to read what that does.
Oh, okay. I can bounce that.
I imagine he's just gonna... There's...
He doesn't need to bounce it now. I'm just going to look at it and go, okay.
It's something Honor Guard.
Takali Honor Guard.
Kali Honor Guard. Yep. There's Takali Honor Guard. Just,
Tokatli Honor Guard.
Torpor Orb Honor Guard. Pretty good card. And... Sean's gonna go down 3. It's probably gonna pop off that Ancestral Vision and turn... I mean, Repeal, not Ancestral Vision.
Ancestral Recall Peel.
And
Living and just kill him.
so at this point, if he fires off the Repeal to bounce that, he can draw a card. Then he casts the Exit Charm to draw 2 cards. That gives him a lot of looks at what he's doing.
Thirst for Knowledge.
But he has Thirst for Knowledge.
And then he might Exit Charm.
Yeah.
Grizzy, Bee,
Multiple
and
Grizzly
Land.
Barons. That does makes his Living Ends substantially worse because now he can keep them both because one of them will die. And that'll be unfortunate. So, Sean's in the tank. Barry obviously does not have that Living End.
Upkeep. Okay.
Okay, so he's gonna Ancestral Vision himself, drawing 3 cards. This does mean he can't cast Living off that, but he does have the Goryo's Vengeance. So that's pretty solid.
Hmm. Gorios is just reanimate, haste, and sack it end of turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he can get in there for 7 damage with one of the
Grizzlebrands.
one of the Grizzlebrands in his graveyard.
Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Ricky still has an out of Ethereal Armor or Daybreak Coronet if Sean connects with this Grizzlebrand and doesn't kill him.
Correct.
Which I don't think he does have a way to kill him if he's just reanimating for lifelink.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's gonna go for the repeal the Spirit Mantle block.
Okay, okay. That seems decent. Now, if Ricky plays this second one.
If Ricky plays the second Spirit Mantle, that'll be a small issue.
It'll kind of suck. Nope, won't play it.
Alright. So Sean goes for the line that I mentioned. It's gonna be a pretty huge blowout, and I think it might be enough to just sway the tide of the game. Now he's gonna.
That's not how it works.
Is in fact not how that
You
works.
can't use your As Foretold to play the repeal for 2.
So that's fine.
I didn't. I just made notes.
So
So looking for a path? Nope.
looking for a path. Didn't find the path. Even if he had the path, he has the second ancestral. Yeah, Gorya's Vengeance, if I'm correct.
Yep. Goes to hand.
Okay.
Boing.
Puts in his hand, draws card. That's what he needed.
Boingo, boingo.
Yep. That's pretty good.
And away we go.
Sean's at 9. His Grizzlebrand's gonna get exiled. He wins the game next turn. Pretty easy stuff.
He's looking at his living end and going, yeah, I like this. That's my card.
This is how Magic should be played.
I'll cast it the turn I want to cast it. I don't want to wait 3 turns.
Alright. So,
Is he going to do some funny stuff before he fires it off?
nah, I doubt it.
It's Sean.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh, look at that monkey.
He has a Simian Spirit Guide. That's pretty solid right
Do you
now.
think he'll copy the Simian Spirit Guide and then go, ha?
Hopefully on the last one. Oh, he just had extra, didn't he?
Alright, so that's easy lethal there from Sean. Sean going in 2-0ing Boggles. Boggles not looking particularly strong this time around. But that's kind of the line you walk when you sign up for playing Boggles. Sometimes your deck is going to look gross, and sometimes your deck is going to look like garbage.
Gross and then garbage.
Gross in a good way.
GG. Gross and garbage.
Like, all right, now we're gonna have Sebastian, who's been my co-host
Oh.
for a little bit. He's gonna go up against the Gorya's As Foretold deck.
That's me.
He's gonna see how he feels about the As Foretold, about the Living End, about all the other stuff, and hopefully not get blown up by repeal and combat.
Spoilers. It's not going to feel great.
It's gonna feel great for one of you.
No, it's not. Goodbye forever.
See you shortly.
Great.
All right, so.
So I'm a scumbag, apparently.
Apparently. So, this matchup.
I would assume it's going to be favored for humans just because specifically the only card that he really has to worry about is exactly a Living End. And humans has so many ways to be able to fight things like that. Thalia messing up As Foretold turns.
He has a lot of things to make it a lot worse for Sean's deck here. Like, Sean can, if he gets them hard and quick, then he's not going to be able to necessarily stop it. But with Sebastian having 4 Thalias, 4...
The 5th Thalia actually matters a lot too sometimes.
Yeah, 4 Freebooters, 4 Meddling Mages, and Phantasmal Mages can copy the things that copy the Freebooters or the Meddling Mages. And just like, if he gets 2 Meddling Mages out, I feel like it's going to start becoming really hard for Sean to really do anything.
Yeah, it's going to get to that point to where it's pretty much impossible for him to be able to come back with a lot of the cards that he has just not going to do anything. A lot of his cards being A and B combo pieces, it's going to be hard for you to be able to beat an opponent who has all of these ways to play around A and B. Phantasmal Image is going to be a little bit more of an awkward card. Deceiver Exarch having the ability to just also have Terminate printed on that card for that card.
It's not necessarily the best. It can be, though.
Yeah.
So, that being said, with decks like Gorya's As Foretold, you do have the ability of always just cheesing out a win. That's kind of the reason you play these decks.
Yep.
He can win on turn 2.
The deck is surprisingly impressive. I still think there has to be something that you can do better than the Gorya's Vengeance Grizzlebrand part of the deck.
Most likely. Like, it's a neat little addition to it. It kind of works with the rest of the deck, so it makes sense that it's built like that because you're already running cards like Faithless Suiting, etc. And you might.
It's just a lot of the games where your thing is like you turn to the Grizzlebrand, you're not actually like, you don't put yourself that far.
You don't put yourself that far, but like it feels like there's just a lot of awkward deck building space with that deck.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of all in on one plan, and you want things that help out with that plan. and that may just be the best option. Though it's possible that someone does eventually come up with a better version of the deck.
I'd be interested. I still think there's a lot of space to be able to move around and mess with some new decks or new concepts in Modern. I just think that a lot of people are too willing to jump onto the main part of the bandwagon.
Well, I think the thing is that decks like Humans, decks like Jeskai, are just so unfriendly to decks that are trying to do sweet things.
That's fair.
Because they just completely shut it down, and then the decks that are doing well are just decks that are hyper efficient doing what they're doing. Aside from Humans and Jeskai, you have Affinity and Hollowed One, and they're just hyper efficient doing what they're supposed to do. So it's really hard to kind of beat the meta decks in Modern right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, even to the point to where I've championed Dredge for a while and played a lot of it, and it has like a 90% win average against Jeskai, but it's just so bad against the other top decks that like I can't even play that deck.
Yeah. So that's kind of the state of Modern right now, which some people enjoy, some people don't. I'm kind of meaning about it. A control deck is tier 1, so it's fine.
Yeah. It's a weird world for me, at least, when I'm playing a control deck. But here we have to start. Sean not with any Faceless Looting action on the first turn, but he does have multiple Lightning Axes in the hand, it looks like. And Sebastian just starting on the general turn 1 champion. Oh, there's Aethervial to join the party right after the first draw step.
Aethervial, Ancient Ziggurat. Can't do that. So.
Judge? Please read your land.
From now on, whenever he does that, just say Hunter Nance. He'll get it.
Alright, so Champion's going to grow his friend there. Sean going to go ahead and end of turn fetch, find a Watery Grave, and move on to his turn.
This isn't exactly the start that Sebastian needs to shut down what Sean is doing, unfortunately for him.
One of the things I hate about the Humans deck is the card Ancient Ziggurat. I understand why you have to play it.
Oh, it's the most awkward land.
But boy.
So, Sean holding up that Lightning Axe, tapping out for the Ancestral, and playing his third Champion of the Parish.
Yep, Gorzan just going to go to the graveyard from Sean, nothing really to do with that, and Sean going to fall down to 15 from the Champion of the Parish. Sebastian's board not really growing in much of any way except for a bunch of champions, but Sean not really doing anything himself. I think he has just the other axe and it looks like a land and something else.
Oh,
Did he draw the 4th champion? Or another Vial, huh?
No, his hand's so awkward right now. He has all spells he can't cast, and Sean now picked up an Aspertold.
But he doesn't have anything to do with the Aspertold.
No, but Sebastian picked up another 2-drop, so he doesn't have anything to do either. Is that tonight's stream just like no audio plus like you can't do anything? Cause, like,
decks that don't function. He picked up a Living End, but there's no reason to play it, because...
I mean, he's taking 1 Champion of the Parish. I mean, taking 2 Champion of the Parishes
Ooh.
And replacing it with 1 Champion of the Parish.
Sebastian found a land.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
All right, so here he's going to go ahead and 2 mana. Looks like we're looking at the Lieutenant.
So if he plays the Freebooter, it's awkward because like he's just going to draw 3 cards next turn, and he's going to go for the land that lets him try to clock him, which I like.
I definitely like the most. This is going to add a total of 4 power plus the 5th to itself to the board here. So Champion of the Parish going to rumble in as a pair for 7 damage, putting Sean down to 2 already. I'm surprised to see not another axe there. Assuming that is one in the back of the hand, but I can't get a great look at it.
I'm pretty sure that is one. I think he's holding it in case he draws a legendary creature of some type.
That seems reasonable enough. Especially...
Because like if he draws into Deceiver Exarch.
Yeah, Deceiver Exarch, Kiki. Ooh, another Aspertold, eh? 3 mana. There it is.
Alright, and he's going to go and fire off an Ancestral. Okay.
I like this a lot better. There's no reason to go ahead and do the other play. You have access to the other one if you're
I did not see
need.
the other Ancestral Vision, so...
I think you have to Living End, though. Like, you're dead on board. And then
You
watch
have to do
Sebastian
that.
just draw a land and Mantis Rider you.
I mean, you can't really do much about that.
Oh, he has the axe. Okay.
He has the axe, but Mantis Rider still kills him.
Oh, and there's still... Yeah, because there's still the champion.
Yeah, like... He cannot beat a Mantis Rider, but it's fine. This is the world he lives in.
Huh?
And it's fine. Sebastian didn't draw into it.
Okay. So Sebastian here, looking at his hand, looks like we're going to go ahead and go for a Meddling Mage. I believe the FNM or the Judge promo for that, correct?
That is correct. So he's going to go and throw this down, grow his champion into a lethal threat.
He's going to name Living End on it. All right.
Name's living in. Would have loved to see a heads-up choice of just like blind naming Lightning Axe.
What blind name is it Charm, which I think Sean has 2 of in hand?
Yeah, so he has. Oh, does he have Lightning Charm and is it Charm? Yeah.
Lightning Axe and
Lightning
Charm,
Axe.
yeah. There's two Izzet Charms pulled to the front, and I believe there's an axe in the middle of the hand. I see a Deceiver Exarch hiding out in there as well. So yeah, Izzet Charm just going to go ahead and deal 2 for free off of one of the Asphertolds. Get
So
rid of the champion.
Sean's gonna switch over to playing Grixis Control here.
Yeah,
And,
probably a Corey build here. We have all these Asphertolds going on.
Like, Corey's probably enjoying it. Sean's probably enjoying it. Sebastian is probably a little upset.
Well, yeah, because his hand has just done nothing for the majority of the game. I mean, you brought your opponent down to 2, but you have to actually kill him.
Yeah, as it turns out, just being aggressive with your 1 mana,
Yes.
2 2s and 3 3s.
As we're told to cast Deceiver Exarch, tap Seachrome Coast, I love it.
I've definitely upkeeped tap down lands a lot with Deceiver Exarch.
But did you do it for 0 mana?
Never 0 mana, but it still feels good on turn 3, especially against Sean.
Yeah, Meddling Mage here, Naming Living End, not going to have much of an effect here because this Deceiver Exarch, as Sean is motioning, just blocks this Meddling Mage, not going to let it get any damage across. And Sean's going to end of turn go ahead and Izzet Charms here, draw 2, discard 2, just digging for Kiki Jiki.
Sure.
Found a Grizzlebrand, gets to put that one in the graveyard,
Yep.
and found another Ancestral.
That's pretty good. That's
In the
pretty
end
good.
step, because Goro's Vengeance, the way that works, he gets to
Yep.
keep it for the entire turn
Gets
cycle.
to keep it on top with it, swing in for a little bit of damage. You can turn in that life for 7 more cards, and it's all well and good.
Yep. Sean picks up. Ooh, draw step, huh? Good draw step.
Picks up a Kiki Jiki, and that's lethal.
And we're done.
All right, well, that was neat. Sebastian played his Hound of Condas and swung in there, and
Hey, you got him real close.
yeah,
Ishimaru boots were almost good enough.
yeah, and Sean just kind of did nothing for a little bit. He killed some creatures, and then he won the game. That was neat. I
All
enjoyed
right.
it.
So we're going to be moving on to sideboard here. Human's going to be taking the play. What do you think we're going to be bringing in here, and why?
All right, Sin Collector seems right off the bat like a card that you want to be bringing in this matchup. Grafdigger's Cage, not as good as some might think it would be. It shuts off the Goryo's Vengeance. It doesn't shut off the Living End.
Right. A lot of players, I've seen a lot of people bringing Grafdigger's Cage against the Living Ends decks. Just as that clarification, Grafdigger's Cage specifically states entering the battlefield from graveyards or libraries, and Living End exiles the creatures in graveyards and then puts them into play from.
So it really becomes how much you're worried about the flashing out cards with Jacewind Prodigy and the Goryo's Vengeance, if you want to bring that in. There's a weird argument for Dire Fleet Daredevil, and I think the main thing, though, from this sideboard is Sin Collector. Not a big fan of the Phantasmal Images or the Reflector Mages. Reflector Mages slightly more than Phantasmal Images to be cut. So,
Are you counterplaying against, say, something like an Anger of Gods effect? Are you
Like-
interested in your Selfless Spirits over those Phantasmal Image slots?
most likely, they would be a good substitute. Because, like, your Reflector Mages are all definitely getting cut. There are very few spots where they're going to be bomb or...
Okay, so you're 4 Reflector Mage for, like, the 2 Selfless Spirit, the 2 of the
Sin Collector.
Sin Collector, yeah. Okay. And then from Sean's side, we have some other cards. Engineered Explosives is a very powerful card against humans. A lot of their meat happens on 2 mana.
Yep.
Other than that, you also have Anger of the Gods, and I wouldn't assume anything else is going to come in here. I like those 4 cards in, and taking out, say, your Jacewind Prodigies, your Thirst for Knowledge, maybe one of the goofy copies of Goro's Vengeance, or probably the Grizzlebrand if you're in that.
Yeah, if you're doing that, because the Glorious Vengeance can bring back the Kiki.
Why are the Kiki Jikis in 3 piles?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. So I think that we've done enough talking about sideboarding. We can go and swap back to their game if they're done shuffling. It looks like they're not, but that's fine. They'll be there eventually. They won't get there. So
All right, so once we get to sideboarding games, so we saw humans, but I mean, so if Sebastian were to draw a hand that functioned a little bit better, do you think it would have been a little more one-sided of a game there?
a little hard to say, but I'm pretty sure that if Sebastian had just picked up a second land a little bit earlier, he could have taken that one, or if he was able to play the Aether Vial on turn 1.
Absolutely. I don't know why we're rolling.
I don't know either. I think they're just rolling because it's Sean French.
Just because it's Sean French. I think that's the best that's the best reasoning.
Like, Sean loves rolling. He comes up with the best ways of rolling the dice. Like, roll the 2 dice. The die that is the highest number die, whoever it's closest to goes first.
Yeah, man.
That's a fun one.
Is it possible that they're both closest to both players?
Don't worry about that. It's also possible that they're both the same number.
That's fair. Yeah, that seems really inefficient.
It's hilarious.
All right, so Sebastian, you're going to go and take us mulligan. Sean seems happy enough with his opening 7 here. Not sure what they're talking about here.
I don't know. He's asking Sebastian some type of question.
He's asking if something was a human. I think that's what I overheard. I'm curious if he's asking if, like, the Torpor Orb guy that he saw last round's a human, which would be terrible in humans because every single one of those cards has an Enter the Battlefield ability.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It shuts off receiver.
Torpor Orb actually started getting put in some deck sideboards again because it has good human
No,
matchups.
it's fine. It's like when you bring in Blood Moon out of your Tron sideboard.
Yeah, man.
Or when you pack your Stony Silence out of your Affinity sideboard.
Yeah, man. You gotta beat the mirror. When you bring in your Stony Silence, you sideboard out of your Dark Slick or your Darksteel Citadels. It's good.
You just look at your opponent and you're like, you're not ready for this.
He won't be. Your sideboard includes 4 planes in it.
Oh, man.
All right, so turn 1 Noble Hierarch from Sebastian, a hand that's actually going to start. Interesting to see him lead on the Noble Hierarch instead of the Aether Vial that I can see in the hand. Especially with the second land already.
It depends. So there are times that that's correct. If he has a 3-drop in hand he wants to play on turn 2, then that's correct, but I don't see one.
I see Kitesail Freebooter. I can't see the card in the very back of the hand. It looks like okay, so that's the Kitesail Freebooter. Yeah, so there's Freebooter, a Vial, and there's at least an unclaimed territory in the front.
It is a slightly weird pick to lead on the Noble Hierarch, but I'm going to assume he has his reasoning behind it.
I'm going to lead with the player that's played more Aether Vials than I've ever touched in my life.
I've played a handful of Aether Vials, and most of those were in Legacy. So,
So turn 1 Faithless Looting from Sean here. Looks like we picked up a Kiki-Jiki to hand, and there goes Kiki-Jiki and Griselbrand to the graveyard.
sure. We
Start off strong on the game plan.
and it looks like somebody picked up a Mantis Rider.
All right, so we get a clock.
Yeah.
Nice and quick. All right, 4 damage coming across, starting as soon as turn 2. Sean already down to 13.
7. Okay, Sebi was on a mulligan 6, so he knew the Mantis Rider was on top.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
That would make sense as the lead. All right, so Sean going to go ahead and fetch, and here is Jace Vryn's Prodigy, a very powerful card from an era in the past.
Yeah, that card was neat in Standard. I was a fan of it.
I
and
love Jeskai Black. It's some of the most fun I ever had playing Magic with that standard deck.
I've tried it many times in Modern, but most of the time it just didn't feel all that impressive.
All right, so Kitesail Free, we're going to look at the hand from Sean. We see Griselbrand, Deceiver XR, Kiki-Jiki, and an Ancestral.
I mean, you have one pick here, but the hand, boy, this deck is neat, isn't it?
Well, Sean can tap Jace, play Deceiver Exarch, untap it, tap it again in response.
I mean, once he gets to 4 mana, he has the option of targeting the Goryor's Vengeance in his graveyard, bringing back Kiki-Jiki, Deceiver Exarch, untap a land, bring back the thing, and win the game on turn 4.
And Sean did just pick up his 4th land there. I'm not a huge fan. Oh, okay, now I'm a much bigger fan. Picked up an Anger. And I think the land he drew for the turn was Cascade Bluffs.
If the land he drew for turn was Cascade Bluffs, then he gets to blow out Sebastian's board, force him to commit something to the board, and then win the game next turn.
Do not discard your land. You need land 4. All right, this Griselbrand needs to go. Okay, thank you.
And your redundant Kiki-Jiki can definitely go if you cast anything else.
All right, yep. I believe the Bluffs was picked up. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
All right. Anger of the Gods here going to take care of Sebastian's board.
And I think that with this,
Sean has
gonna
lethal
lock up
next turn.
Pretty
Or
likely win next turn.
Is there a Goro's Vengeance?
I could have sworn he discarded Goro's Vengeance.
No, he discarded Griselbrand
Oh,
Kiki.
okay.
No, okay, so we're still looking for something. Mantis Rider, a good draw from Sebastian, though.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to go face.
Yeah. Like, you just gotta go for it.
Sean is completely forgetting what Jace does.
Well, if he doesn't go for it, then Sean can flashback the Anger of the Gods if he chooses to.
But I mean, then it's just 1-for-1 and Sean's going to hit the 5.
It's a 1-for-1, but it leaves, like... It's a 1-for-1 that leaves him in a better spot than it leaves you in.
Absolutely. It's an awkward situation.
And I think that's pretty much entirely what Sebi is considering.
There's 3 mana, there's a Mantis Rider, and we're going towards the Dome. Sean going to fall down to 5. And even here, Sean can just pick up the Jace targeting the Mantis Rider, and Mantis Rider only does 1 damage a turn that way.
He has a lot of ways to deal with this Mantis Rider.
Also, we just have the Deceiver Exarch.
Yeah, we are not all that worried about this 3/3 flyer.
Right, Jace looking like we're going on up.
And that seems fine.
Target Mantis Rider. And a pass. Not sure what the pickup from Sebastian is there. But yeah, he is definitely in a very awkward position at the moment. 1 damage coming across. Sean, 4.
This feels real bad.
Sebastian really in the tank here, and I think we might see Gora's Aspertold just get a clean 4-0 tonight.
That'd be hilarious. Like, to be fair, he didn't play all that many real games, but he
That's
had
fair.
one real game against Boggles, and this game's closer to real than the other ones.
Yeah. So Deceiver Exarch here going to come in and attempt to attach Aether Vial. Aether Vial falls down, and there's not really anything that Sean needs to be afraid of except for a Dismember here.
Yep, and if he draws into a land, he can just,
I mean, you just go for it.
yeah, no reason not to go for it.
Did we hit?
He's tanking.
It looks like it.
Sure does.
Okay,
No,
we
that's
didn't
okay.
hit, but that gives us a lot of looks at things to do. There's another Faceless Looting in that looting. There's an Aspertold as well. Looks like another Deceiver Exarch. Okay, so Sebastian lives another day. But Sean's going to get to pick up 3 cards here.
Yep.
Looting going to hit the graveyard. Most common. I would also assume... I would actually like the Deceiver Exarch to go to the graveyard here more than the Kiki-Jiki. Jace going to tick up on the Mantis Rider. I would assume Aspertold plus a Ancestral coming on here? Or no, we're going to hold up Deceiver.
Which I think he's playing that way as a concession to the possibility of just dying to another Mantis Rider.
Okay. That's fair.
Hey, look, it's a Mantis
The Mantis Rider. Okay, good play. Alright, 3 mana for Sebastian here. Here's a Mantis Rider. Going to attempt to come into combat. Sean going to more than likely get that one out of here.
Yep. Seaver's that down. And
Rumble.
Next turn, he can flash back to Anger.
Yep.
Oh, that's
3 minute.
lethal.
Woohoo! Yes! Fireball, human!
Yep, that's real good. So, Sebi, it looked like he was going to lose that one, but he ended up taking it at the end there with just incremental damage plus his Fireball human. And we're going to bring this to a 1-1, and now Sean going to have to try to pull this back in the final game. He is on the play, so that does give him a small amount of advantage here.
He got to a bit of an awkward situation there. The problem with a deck like Gora's Aspertold is you're going to have a lot of Part A and a lot of Part B.
Yeah.
So if you end up drawing too much of one side, you're going to be a little. It's going to be a little awkward. And he just kept picking up pieces of the Kiki-Jiki Splinter Twin, the quote-unquote Splinter Twin combo, and wasn't able to put it all together because he was missing the land.
Yeah. All right. So, Sebi looks like he's rethinking his sideboard options.
Take a look at the old. Did that Reclamation? Okay, Reclamation Stage is.
He brought in the Reclamation Sage to try to destroy the Aspertold, but it looks like he's reconsidering it now.
Yeah, I think as Aspertold is the only target on most turns where he plays an Aspertold, he's already going to have got a large chunk of value out of it. I'm not sure how important having a card like Reclamation Sage is.
It doesn't seem all that important, and I think that there are probably better things you could have in. Though, if you're cutting the full 7, the Phantasmal Images plus the Bounce Mage spell, then you do have a couple extra slots to bring in. So.
All right. Sean here, already shuffled. I'm sure he's probably about to ask Sebastian something like, "Why aren't we playing? What are you doing?"
He's like, I've already figured out I've already figured out my sideboard for like the next 10 matches. Like
He doesn't have any matches tonight.
He already figured it out though. Like next week, he's figured out next week's matchup.
So we don't even know if we're playing Modern next week.
He's already figured out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's foretold the future.
Am I allowed to leave?
I mean, technically speaking, yes. Like,
Right.
we're not holding anyone captive here. Please don't take that to be the case. Twitch.com.
All right. So Sean's opening hand looks like we have a Lightning Axe, Jace, Deceiver Exarch, Simian Spirit Guide, at least a Cascade Bluffs, and I can't get a good look at the Bath 2 cards. What?
It's
What did he
a
say?
thing.
What did he say?
He said, "I'm blinking twice." Is that correct, Corey? Yes. It's an obscure thing. All right.
Sebastian happy enough with his hand as well. All right. Simian Spirit Guide into cycle my Cascade Bluffs into blue mana. Here's a Jace.
Okay. Here we go. Here's
Is-
my turn 1 Merfolk Looter.
Is turn 1 Jace good in this format?
It's surprisingly pretty medium.
I played a lot of turn 1 Jace in Legacy, but different Jace.
Yeah. Turn 1 JVP in Vintage is pretty busted.
Yeah, I would agree. I would understand that. Deceiver Exarch are going to get discarded by Jace, and we see Engineered Explosive, the Lightning Axe, and I can't get a good look at the cards in the back of the hand. There's at least one Ancestral, and looks like a Living End as well. All right, so Violet is going to go in and tick up. We see other lands in Sebastian's hand. Can't get a good look at anything else though.
Looks like Sean's doing something. He's cracking a patch. He's gonna tap some mana or something.
Here's a Watery Grave. 1 mana, and we're just going to go ahead and suspend or
Sure.
recall.
Seems fine. Kind of setting in for the long game here.
Picked up a Mantis Rider from Sebastian. Land going to come in, and another Aether Vial pulled to the front, but it looks like potentially Kitesail Freebooter in the back of the hand there, and I think that might be what we're reaching to.
Yep, he's pulling that.
Oh, there is Thalia. Okay.
Thalia's pretty good. Pretty good against JVP.
Thalia is a very awkward card for Sean's deck to play around. A lot of his deck works on high efficiency in his cards, and
Yep.
Thalia really messes that up, making Lightning Axe cost 2, making cards coming off Suspend cost extra mana, and making Ask for Toll just practically not work.
Yep. Thalia just kind of doing the Thalia thing that she does in every format against decks like this, just kind of making everything they do awful.
Mm-hmm. Left team are going to go to the graveyard of Blackleaf Cliffs played, and we have 2 mana here for Sean. Curious as to what it's going to be. Here is Engineering Explosives on 2.
Yep. So he's casting it with X as 1, then the Thalia tax will come into play. He will play red for the regular cost and then blue for the tax, which makes it come down as 2 Sunburst. Weird interaction, but neat to know if you're playing Thalia, if you're playing against Thalia and you have Engineer Explosives.
Yeah, it's a very interesting interaction that a lot of people don't realize is that with Sunburst cards, just the way Sunburst cards work against Thalia is very, very unique.
It sure is neat.
Right, another land coming down for Sebastian.
Oh yeah, that is
Foil Jap.
yeah, that's foiled Japanese. That's definitely $400 or so.
There is Mantis Rider coming down, and a Rumble Across for 5, going to bring Sean to 12. And I assume we're going to have a draw step Kitetail Freebooter coming into play here?
He's certainly thinking about it. No, I think he's gonna hold it because of
the Engineering Explosives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that EE is gonna eat that JVP. That's something that's gonna happen.
Regardless of what happens to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Jace here going to go ahead and tap and draw a new card. We see just another land. Sean getting a little unlucky with this part of the game, but I mean, it's just part of the type of deck that he's playing.
Yeah, you kind of, when you're playing a deck that relies on certain pieces coming together, sometimes you just don't get your pieces together and you just kind of fumble around while your opponent wins.
His hand is definitely looking pretty anemic. Gora's Vengeance, Lightning Axe, and a Steam Fence. Well, no creatures to Gora's Vengeance in the graveyard. 3 lands and a Deceiver Exarch, all that are sitting there. Luckily, the Gora's Vengeance can pick the Jace back out of the graveyard once the Engineering Explosives pops if it wants to.
Yeah. Here's the thing he has available to him.
There is a Horizon Canopy for Sebastian. And multiple freebooters, also along with another Aether Vial. I can't get a good look at the 4th card in the hand, though, from him. But he definitely has the tools to be able to pick apart what Sean is trying to do here.
Yeah.
Here's another Rumble for 5.
Now, I'm curious to see if Sean's going to play it patient. He might, there's a chance he fires off that Lightning Axe to kill off the Mantis Rider, and looks like that's the case.
A big access card or Steepens. Mantis Rider going to go ahead and hit the bin. Sean's going to fall down to 10.
Yep.
1 card left over. And I'm curious as to how Sebastian wants to go ahead and continue. 2 mana.
Looks like he's probably gonna. Looks like he's considering committing 1 freebooter to the board. He's willing to trade off a little bit more value against that EE, but not a ton more.
All right.
And this might force Sean's hand into cracking that EE.
Yep, but I think that's what he kind of wants to go for. Freebooter going to take the Gora's Vengeance away from Sean, but it's going to come right back once the Engineering Explosives pops.
Yep.
Vision going to tick down to 1, and Sean is going to pick up another land.
Yeah, it's not great for him, but he can next turn crack that Engineer Explosives, or he can even just sleep on it and use that Jace to stem a little bit of the bleeding. And he's not like being pressured a huge amount right now.
One awkward thing about Sean's deck is how much of its own resources it has to use to play its game plan. So you get a lot of these situations where Sean has to discard cards for his cards like Lightning Axe for his Faithless Lootings. And to play the control game when that is what your deck does, it gets a lot more awkward. Your Ask for Told isn't a card in itself. There's so many things that become such a problem.
Your entire deck becomes awkward when you're trying to run it in a way that's not just its optimal game plan. Yep, blocks Thalia, loots. Only takes 1 damage. And at this point, Sebastian's going to be put in a position where he's going to have to consider committing something else to the board. Otherwise,
Yep.
he's just not pressuring.
Yeah, Sean is not taking enough damage for him to need to worry about the board. But here comes a Champion of the Parish, so that potentially has the ability to start adding a little bit more damage to the board, and it looks like 2 mana and Aether Vial going to join it. I hope there's a second Engineered Explosive that joins the party on 1. Just get everything.
Yeah. Looks like he tapped his mana incorrectly, but that's fine.
What did he do?
He
Oh,
tapped,
he used the Ziggurat mana for the...
Yeah. But it doesn't really matter.
We're going to get him. Let's get him for it.
Nah, it's fine.
Alright.
Like, I would get him if he couldn't do it. Like, he would just rewind it and then tap it correctly.
So Vision's going to resolve, going to pick Sean up 3 more cards, and then either before Sean continues or in his draw step, I anticipate a Kitesail Freebooter to be vialed in here.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see that.
Yep. Here's a draw card. Sebastian here going to go ahead and play the Freebooter. We're going to see the full grip of Sean, and we don't have to guess.
So I see a Living In, I see a Goryo's Vengeance.
I see a...
Seabark's Arc.
I believe there's an Ancestral right behind the Goros, and I think there might
Yep.
even be an Astrotold on the very back of the hand.
I can't tell for sure, certain on the back two, but I know for certain those first 4 are the ones we mentioned.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and see the hand, and we have
Jace
Jace
and
Vryn's
Astrotold.
Prodigy, As Foretold, Deceiver Exarch, Goros Vengeance, Living End, and Ancestral Visions.
Yeah. Seems,
Quite to the grip.
seems to me like you're probably going to go after the Aspertol.
It is the card that does the most for him in the situation.
Yeah.
Yep, that's going to go ahead and get taken care of. I would not be surprised for Sean to, on Sebastian's turn, Goros Vengeance at Jace, and then block with it. But here he's going to, I think we're just going to go ahead and do it in main phase here.
Do it, draw it, flip it, Lightning Axe, the Freebooter.
Yep, that makes the
Fine.
most sense. Jace will die from this exchange, but I think you're all right with that.
He'll die, but he'll go in the graveyard instead of exile, which is neat.
Is there a Kiki in the graveyard from earlier?
I can't remember.
I don't believe there is. So we're still a piece or 2 away from our kill. I'm going to take a look at the graveyard here in a moment. So, yeah, I don't believe I see one
Yeah.
down there.
We're a piece or 2 away from our kill, but we are kind of grinding down Sebastian's resources, and that's certainly something Sean's happy about.
That is one nice thing about the Ancestral Vision part of this deck, is you get to
Yep.
pick those resources that you've discarded from your effects.
So it looks like he's going to be a little more patient and not go for the flashback of the Lightning Axe. Instead, he's just going to shrink the Champion of the Parish, and I think that's fine.
I think he's also looking at playing the other Jace Vryn's Prodigy here.
That's fair.
Yep.
Throws that down, and now Sebastian will be left with a 2/2 and a 1/2 in play.
And it is a 0-2 at the current moment. Not going to do a lot.
Oh yeah, it is a 0/2 because of the JVP.
Oh, I believe it's a Jace Telepath Unbound.
It's JVP. Everyone knows he's JVP.
All right, Sebastian here, going to go ahead and take a moment to think about the way he's going to line up the beginning of his turn here. Growing Champion of the Parish is going to be awkward because it needs at least 2 more ticks to be able to attack through the Jace Vryn's Prodigy.
Yep.
It looks like Sebastian just doesn't have anything to do here.
He's looking. I'm pretty sure that's a Meddling Mage, and I imagine the reason we're seeing pause is he's trying to figure out what card he wants to Meddling Mage, and there are a lot of things.
I think when your human's opponent goes in the tank for like more than a minute, it's probably him thinking about what to Meddling Mage.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, if their grip is full, it might be just a sequencing thing, but if their grip isn't full, it's pretty obvious. It looks like Sebastian might be going for the play of letting the Chase target a spell and then flashing the Meddling Mage.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's pretty good play, and if Sean walks into it, it's going to be slightly awkward for him. But he does have a backup.
Yep. Jace is going to go ahead and target Lightning Axe. I would be surprised if Sebastian didn't make this Meddling Mage play in response. The way that he's sequenced.
I feel like the way he's sequenced that he's building up to this play, and yeah, he's
Yep.
just going to go and pop it off. So really, really cute and correct play from Sebastian's
Yep.
side.
Some of the things this humans deck can do, just have that as their
Yeah.
title. So here we just want to JVP into an Astrotold because we're always lucky, and Living End, because we get to discard the Grizzlebrand in our hand.
Yeah, sure. Like,
Always lucky.
I don't know if Sean's that confident in his luck.
Oh,
but
there
he's
we
def-
are.
He's definitely gonna go for it.
Woohoo! Oh, another Grizzlebrand. We don't want that.
Yeah,
That don't do nothing.
easy discard. He's just gonna.
Thank
go
you
and
for
reset
not
that.
wasting our time.
Though that would be hilarious. And I would
Just-
appreciate it.
I would be amused by it. Maybe he'll target the Lightning Axe with this one too.
I sure hope he doesn't.
Gonna go ahead and target Gora's Vengeance as he properly should. Oh, maybe Gora's Vengeance to get the Jace back.
Oh God.
I haven't been in here in a while. I have to have my fun, Nathaniel.
The thing is, I could see Sean doing that if he had nothing else to do. And
Oh,
he's gonna
absolutely.
make the correct play and bring back his 7/7.
Here's a Grizzlebees. Gonna rumble over, bring Sebastian down to 17. Sean gonna stay at 7 though. Pick up a new grip. We see, ooh, another Lightning Axe can't cast, huh? But I believe there was an Ask for Told there, and at least a Simian Spirit Guide, so we will be able to Living End this turn.
Living in, pretty decent. He doesn't have a second Grizzlebrand in his graveyard.
If he has access to a Faithless Looting, he can Simian Spirit Guide, Faithless Looting, discard Kiki Jiki plus the second Grizzlebrand, and actually have like a really good board state. But I think the Deceiver Exarch plus something else will probably be a good enough board state, especially with a Wrath of God effect coming from the Living End.
So, goes ahead, throws it down. It's fine.
There is the As Foretold, allowing him to play 0 mana spells for free.
It looks like we are going to see a Faithless Looting. I'm not for certain.
I don't believe he has one.
He picked up his Simian Spirit Guide. Is the only reason.
Okay.
Nope, can't do that.
You can't cast Lightning Axe. It's Meddling Maged. Never mind.
Relatable. I've lost a legacy match to doing something similar to that.
Sean in the tank now.
I know what's going on in his head right now, because Sean and I are playing somewhat similar styles. All of his thoughts are just coming to an abrupt stop. And he's now reconsidering what Magic the Gathering is as a
Because
concept.
he's going over his lines and he's like, well, if I.
He's just like, well, yeah.
No, he's asking, I believe he asked Sebastian if he's allowed to take back As Foretold.
Yeah. Pretty blatant. Alright, so he's just going to take back the Asmodee. He's just going to take everything back. He's going to run it back. And now he's just kind of reconsidering everything. It's fine.
Now, there's a lot to think about here. I believe he might be going for Engineered Explosives on 2.
And then pop it. If he can hold on the pop, but
Yeah, with the Simian Spirit Guide.
yeah. And that might be the more reasonable play at this point. You lose your Jace, but I think you can live with that. And
Oh no.
it's pretty unlikely you'll die to that Champion of the Parish by itself.
Well, if he has that 4 mana human that has Flash.
Sure.
I saw some guys playing that at the Open this last week, and it was kind of interesting to me.
That's fair.
I think it's Heron's Grace.
I don't know for sure who it would be, but it's interesting regardless. And it looks like we're just going to get back 2 Deceiver Exarchs and a Jace from Prodigy.
Okay. That's not all that bad. We are dead to a Mantis Rider off the top, though. Okay, no, because he can here. Sean can Deceiver Exarch on top of his Cascade Bluffs plus an island or 2 red in whatever source he wants to, and he can Lightning Axe creatures as they need to be if he would like to here.
He does have that option available to him, and wouldn't be super surprising to see that line come up.
This is the turn where the Meddling Mage came into play, right? Yeah, get that Vials on too.
Yeah.
So there's still a flashbackable Lightning Axe in the graveyard. So he can still flashback the one in the graveyard if he remembers. It's been like 5 minutes.
I would not fault him for forgetting it, all facts considered.
But yeah, if he was able to realize this, he would be able to untap 2 of his lands and go ahead and Lightning Axe on his turn now. And he would have to, I suppose, Lightning Axe the Thalia.
Alright, so he's going to look at that hand. He has a fair amount of options here. And Like, it's either gonna be the Lightning Axe or the Engineering Explosives as a pick.
I know I didn't know you were doing
Aside from that, it's
What's your big one? Coke.
Yeah, a decent pick here from the Cattail Freebooter. I mean, we have a lot of choices here. I would anticipate the Lightning Axe to be the one that is taken, as it's the only one that can interact on the opposing turn.
correct. And now, well, back to where we've been a lot in this match, the tank.
I didn't know we were visiting the local aquarium.
I mean, you know, you occasionally gotta visit that super shady aquarium on Williamson Road.
Is there a shady aquarium on Williamson?
Yep.
I didn't even know.
Yep. It's Williamson Road. They have shady everything.
I mean, that's fair. All right, gonna go ahead and go back over to Sebastian. Looks like we picked up an unclaimed territory from his side. Yep, as we did note, the Axe in the Graveyard still did have access to be flashback, but there was a reasonable amount of time that...
The next turn is not that reasonable amount of time. And F lashback is now how I will pronounce that.
F flashback?
F lashback.
I love me some F flashback. I think there's a reason we don't have a lot of viewers.
That's
And it's
fine.
because we're both just pieces of garbage.
I mean, so far I've not been that bad of garbage. I've made some jokes.
Yeah, you and Sebastian are a little tame.
Yeah. Like,
There's no Josh to pick on for me.
we're pretty reasonable as human beings.
Just as long as there isn't a Josh.
On stream, we're pretty reasonable. Outside of stream, we're messes as human beings, but we're 20-somethings. Sebastian's not even 20-something. He can't even get that get there.
3 mana from Sebastian. Here is Reclamation Sage. You're going to go ahead and take care of the As Foretold.
It's in here. Pops that.
Sean at 3. Okay, so Sean just needs Kiki.
Yeah.
Rip. Kiki. I love that color of green, Chucky.
Reasonable human being. I don't know. I think Chucky, you and Fat Ray and you end up balancing out to a reasonable human being.
All right, so he picked up another axe. So that's worth something here. It keeps him alive. On the board, at least. So plus target Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider now only does 1 damage.
Gonna draw a card. Picks up a Faithless Looting.
Grizzlebrand going to go to the graveyard. Going to go ahead and reset the Jace again.
Sure.
These Jaces have looped with each other quite a lot. Okay.
And Sean just kind of flipping his card.
Does he have a Kiki? It's just right there. Just play it. Just kill him.
If he has one, then the only thing he could play around, he should be playing around is Reflector Mage, but Reflector Mage isn't going to be left in here.
I mean, it's reasonable to like worry about it, but yeah, it's so unlikely that your opponent's going to Reflector Mage you.
Like, if you can come up with a line that like gives you a 100% win, like even through the Reflector Mage, then sure. Go
Absolutely.
for it.
Let's see.
That's fair. Thank you, Downvotes. At least you're watching because of the matches we're playing. Thank you.
Maybe he doesn't know how Cascade Bluffs works.
No, he knows that kind of stuff.
Are you saying that he used it like on turn 1 correctly?
He did. He used the red mana to tap it to get double blue to cast his Jace, but found it on turn 1. That's pretty reasonable.
Just play it. Just kill him.
So,
But he can't dismember you. It has to be exactly Reflector Mage.
That's be exactly Reflector Mage. He has 1 card in hand, and up to this point, you can safely assume that he doesn't have the full 4 because you would have seen one throughout your 2 sideboard games, I would assume. But Sean just super
Nope.
thinking about it. Nope.
No.
He's got an Engineering Explosive on 2.
Ah.
Nope. Sure.
Okay. Okay, so Mantis Rider has no power. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and pop our Engineering Explosives now. All the 2s are gone. Lightning Axe goes back to Sean's hand.
Sure.
Mantis Rider is a -1/3.
No, he's pretty fine against most things. Could happen next turn.
Grizzorang going to go to the graveyard. All right. Back to Sebastian. Sebastian just playing the tricks.
Yep, just throwing out that bluff, which is reasonable because if he has another Thalia, then it might force Sean into going for that Lightning Axe.
Yep. Sebastian picked up another Vial this turn.
Not optimal for him.
You still attack with his Manta Threader, right? You show him his boss.
I mean, it's literally free.
He gains the life. It's a -1.
It's not how Magic works. You tried, but it's not how it works.
End of turn here, Sean. Looks like we're going to go for a Lightning Axe, discarding a Faithless Looting.
Yep.
All right, Sean. Do it.
And now, this
Put
should be a pretty safe
fear.
Kiki-Jiki.
He picked up another one, too. Yeah.
This is
So
the
here is
safest
Kiki-Jiki.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a hand from Sebastian here.
In response, Vial on 3, and concede.
Ah, yes. The classic Sebastian. Alright. So now we're going down to the final match. We're going to have Sebastian versus Ryan. We're going to have the Human versus Jun matchup.
On average, how is this matchup? I know Jun has the ability to play a lot of point-and-click removal, but a lot of Jun's threats are a little awkward against a card Reflector Mage.
So, the versions recently that have been cutting back on Bloodbraid Elves are actually a little bit stronger because Bloodbraid Elf is a clunky card in this matchup.
Absolutely.
And by cutting down the amount of clunky cards in your matchup, you give you a little bit better chance of dealing with it.
But he replaced like Bloodbraid Elf with like Olivia Voldaren
Let's ignore that fact.
and Kalidas.
It's pretty bad too, but in general, the Jun list recently, I'm not necessarily saying this Jun list, but Jun lists in general have been finding a way to pull that matchup to being more reasonable.
Okay.
Not necessarily favored, but not just a straight loss. It's closer to like a 60-40 for them.
I like how we've also moved towards like Grim Lavamancer main deck,
Yeah.
that type of thing. I'm a fan of more cards that have a lot of ability to pull a lot of weight in a matchup like Humans, which on average is such an awkward matchup for you.
Yeah, Grim Lavamancer does help you out quite a little bit. You do have 5 1-mana removal spells, you have 6 discard spells, and you have some decent higher end cards for this matchup. So, in general, you should actually be able to pull out a pretty decent win rate. All facts considered, it's not going to be necessarily the favored win rate, but it's not going to be like it was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still put a small amount of money on Sebastian if we were putting money on it, but I
Money
think,
match?
No,
Money match right now.
I don't money match with other people.
Whoever isn't right.
That's fair. But I think we're going to see a very interactive matchup that could go either way.
Thanks for the sub there, Ornix.
Yep.
We appreciate you getting there.
Thank you, Onyx. Always happy to see someone subbing, even if we sometimes don't have audio.
I think he was just kind of forced into it.
That's fair.
He kind of lives with me.
Nice. like it's
Bent
fine.
his arm up. Press the button.
You would think that my roommate would be forced into not just like throwing things in my room, but it's fine. It's not. If you're listening, I'm sorry. It's lighthearted jab.
Who, Alex?
That's probably.
What's Alex doing?
Probably just interested in maybe. Alex right now is probably playing Dota.
Playing some sweet Dota.
He's got back into that game pretty hard.
I feel like he's a cyclical person.
What now?
Cyclical.
Okay.
He'll play something just a ton.
No, he doesn't. Not at all. He might have a lot of hours on Dota. He may have been semi-professional at Dota at one point.
I mean, yeah, man.
But
All right. We're going to go ahead and get this matchup. And so as we said, I think Humans probably does have the edge. Too
Yeah.
many of its cards require point and click.
yeah.
And a lot of its cards mess up. Like, the power of Humans is the factor that you get to play a powerful 1-drop, and then your 2-drop protects it.
Now, this matchup does kind of fall into the Death and Taxes effect from Sebastian's side, where he does have a wrong side of the deck he can draw in this matchup. If he draws,
absolutely.
If he draws the wrong part, he's gonna get Ryan pretty good. And Ryan has less of that problem. Jun being a deck that just kind of it's well rounded. Most of his cards line up to do what they want to do. Sometimes you draw discard spells at suboptimal times, but most of the time you're not gonna have as big a problem with that.
If you had the choice of a turn 1 Vial draw versus the turn 1 Noble Hierarch draw, which would you rather have in this matchup?
In this matchup specifically, I'd rather have the Noble because the Noble is an actual card.
Yep.
Whereas the Vial's not actually a card.
Vial's just a tempo card. It has its ability to just push you over the top in some matchups, but I'm definitely... Like, Vial is a card that I'm personally just not a big fan of because of the negative advantage it gives you.
So I like Vial because of the interactions it creates, and I love tricky interactions. It's one of the big things I look for in matchups.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Humans has a surprisingly large amount of weird play to it that takes some time to master.
yeah, like that's kind of why I want to pick up the deck, but I have 2 decks in the top 4 already that I know how to play, so I don't know I'm gonna pick up humans. And I feel like they are a lot less susceptible to variance than humans.
That's fair.
So, looks like we're gonna see the turn 1 noble hand if he decides to keep this. I can't make out most of his hand though.
It looks like a pretty reasonable hand. Cavern of Souls here going to lead on a Noble Hierarch, pass back to Ryan. He has the
And-
ability to bolt the bird, though, if he'd like to.
Oh, he's firing off that bolt. Like, look at him. He's ready. He had it.
We're not getting anywhere else.
Yeah.
All right. I hope Sebastian has a second land.
Now, if he doesn't, it's gonna be pretty awkward. He
Okay.
does.
There's the plains, the awkward land of the deck, but there is Thalia to follow up.
Now, Thalia can certainly make Ryan's game a little bit awkward here if his hand's more dependent on higher costing spells or cards like Terminate, which is also fine.
Yeah, there's a Terminate in there. I think there's Liliana as well, Inquisition of Kozilek, and a couple lands.
Yeah. Inquisition of Kozilek gets substantially worse when it costs 2 mana.
Oh, absolutely. You can play Distress, which is Thoughtseize that doesn't deal any damage to you.
I played Distress once.
Hey man, I've played Distress in sideboards.
It was a dark time for me.
Magic has had some weird points in time where like cards like Distress are fine in Standard.
Yeah. Magic sometimes just lines up in a weird way.
And then you have this format where this Standard format where the only hand disruption is Duress.
Oh boy. Yeah, man. What do you sideboard in? 4 Duresses.
Oh, your Swamp deck, huh? Oh, your Mono Green? 4 Duress in that sideboard, huh?
Don't worry, you only have to make an 11-card sideboard.
Mantis Rider going to come down, run Ryan down to 12, and there is the powerful 2-mana Inquisition of Kozilek. Going to see Noble Hierarch, Thalia's Lieutenant, and a Mantis Rider. Actually a pick here. The Lieutenant very powerful as long as the Mantis Rider, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the immediate damage.
Yep.
Oh, no interest in Rumbling, huh?
Yep, doesn't want to initiate that race. So,
Do you play the Noble first, or do you play the Lieutenant first? Which one do you want to get bigger quicker?
I kind of like throwing out the Noble, just that way you have a more spread out stats.
Okay. I believe we picked up the Kethage Malcontents is the last card.
No, that card's gonna... No, we picked up... No, yeah, we did, because that was already in hand. So, it looks like Sebby's gonna do it in the opposite way. Instead, he's gonna start growing his Lieutenant, which is fine.
Alright. So, and we're going to be able to rumble across for 5 here, bringing Ryan right down to 7.
Yeah, he's facing down a pretty quick clock, and that Cacique Malcontents is gonna deal that last bit of damage pretty quickly.
Yep, and Ryan here is forced into using a Terminate for his whole turn, or I mean, he could Fatal Push as well, but yeah, it's going to use almost his entire turn to do that, and he has to be terminating the Mantis Rider because there's nothing else that's going to matter here.
Yeah, and that's not great for him.
3 mana, main phase, destroy Mantis Rider, so okay.
And he's still dead.
Is he dead?
Yeah, because he plays the Cacique Malcontents, puts
Yep.
Ryan down for 3, swings him for 3 with his Thalia's Lieutenant.
I would assume Sebastian sees this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Picked up another Thalia's Lieutenant as well, but that one's not going to do it near as much. Yeah. Malcontents is going to go ahead and come into play, deal 4 damage to Ryan, where 4 is the amount of humans that Sebastian controls, and then we're going to attack with 2 3-power creatures, which will be a perfect lethal swing
Yep.
here.
And that's easy lethal. So Ryan just kind of got raced out by all the efficient threats that humans has,
And the little bit of stumbling that the deck causes you to go through.
yeah, that Thalia did a lot, and the fact that Ryan had 2 enter the battlefield tap plants certainly did not help.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I think that this is just one of those cases where this deck can make you like this deck can punish you for
Yes.
being less than optimal. Is what I mean to say.
Sebastian won.
No, you're at 3.
Ryan was very
Sebastian won.
confused. That's why we were taking all that time there. But yep, Sebastian going to get game 1, and we're going to move on to sideboards.
Now, we're having someone new try to get up the sideboard, so that might take a little second here. And
Looking at what we can see of that sideboard right there, what do you anticipate Ryan to be bringing in?
Ryan's definitely bringing in the Anger Gods, the Damnations. There's a low, like nothing else seems super impressive.
Over even on him bringing in Fulminator Mage.
I don't like Fulminator Mage.
Oh, I don't either.
On him again. All right, so let's get down to business. What is he cutting?
Are the humans Huns now? I guess Mantis Rider.
What? Okay.
He said, let's get down to business.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I got the reference. So, what do we cut here?
Collector Brutality is kind of a medium quality card. It is a 2-mana disfigure.
Yep.
That can also be a drain on a bad card. So I'm going to assume that card gets thrown to the wayside. I would also not be surprised if we're in my world, we take Olivia out.
Okay.
But if we're in Ryan's world, well, let's just ignore that's there. He's playing with a 59 card deck. We know it's going to be in his main deck.
So, yes.
I would anticipate maybe one of the Thoughtseize effects, the 2 Thoughtseizes will also potentially come out. They're a little bit awkward. You don't want to make too many of them. They become very difficult to play around with Thalias. Humans empties their hand so fast, all that kind of thing. I'm fine with the 4 Inquisitions, but I definitely don't like the 2 Thoughtseizes.
Okay. So that's 3 spots.
Yep, and that is the Anger, the Damnation.
And
I mean, you could bring the 2nd Brutality in if you need the removal.
to bring the 2nd Brutality in, well, you can't. At that point, you just don't cut the 1st Brutality and just cut the Thoughtseizes.
So oh yeah, sorry, I forgot we were talking on the world where we keep the Olivia in because we're Ryan.
Olivia's sweet.
Sure. I played a lot of her in Standard. She was
So,
real good in Standard,
She
John.
was real good in early iterations of Modern Jund. Very early iterations.
Oh yeah, no, I know. When I started playing is really when Modern first came out as a format, so I was very familiar with Olivia Jund.
Yep. All right, now
From the human
on the
side,
human side, we have a lot of cards that could be brought in here.
I'm a big fan of Direfleet Daredevil in these type of
Oh, yeah.
matchups. Being able to
Direfleet
fatal put the
Daredevil.
opposing Tarmogoyf, that kind of stuff.
Being a reverse Snapcaster Mage can be so huge on the value. Bringing in Selfless Spirit when they're possibly bringing in some type of board wipe just makes sense.
Big fan of Dark Confidant also, the ability to run away with the game.
There's another matchup for Phantasma Mage, not at its best.
I would also assume that Orchestage Malcontents on average is not going to be a very powerful card.
No, because like Malcontents, you can't depend on a lot of times. That's 4 cards right off there.
I think you can also trim one of the freebooters.
You can definitely trim on the freebooters, and that brings you to your 5 cards. You just bring in your Selfless Spirits, your Direfleet Daredevils, one Dark Confidant, and that's about it. So I think Ryan gets a slightly better sideboard options in his 2 board wipes, though the the Direfleet Daredevil, I looked at the card that was to the right,
Oh, you're fine.
is a big deal in this matchup.
Oh, absolutely. Direfleet Daredevil is going to have a lot of power. Flashing back opposing Lightning Bolts, flashing back opposing Fatal Pushes, Terminates, all that kind of thing, are going to have a lot of power when some of what Jund does in these aggro matchups is it plays a Tarmogoyf and says you have to deal with this if you want to hit me.
Yep. So now we'll see how this ends up going for them. They're shuffling up, and looks like we're gonna get started. Hopefully, both of them get a 7, and we get to have a nice interactive matchup.
All right. I think Sebastian might have taken a mulligan. Yep, and we see a 1-land hand with an Aether Vial.
Aether Vial, and it looks like the Phantasma Image as well.
Ryan also took a mulligan at least. Going to go ahead and keep his top cards. Sebastian also happy with his.
So
Is Ryan going to leave? No Inquisition turn 1?
Ryan led on turn 1 Treetop Village.
Feels
tap.
bad, man. Okay, if we're leading on this Writhing Enemy, I'm going to guess that wasn't a land we cap on top. Do you have the Abrupt Decay? Show me an Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay would be pretty good here, but I would imagine we might not see it here. If he has a 2-drop to play, he might consider deploying something.
Which really upsets me.
I mean,
I like to see people get blown out.
like, he's getting blown out, but at the same time, I kind of like committing something to the board. Like, you can wait till it gets onto 1.
A real number. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And here comes Scavenging Ooze. Dark Confidant and Tarmogoyf also in the hand, though. So it's kind of interesting to see the creature that he chose to lead on.
I kind of prefer the Dark Confidant, get that card advantage flowing, but that's just me.
So it looks like the card that Sebastian kept on top was a Noble Hierarch. I believe that's the card that is under the Mantis Rider there. So some insurance against the Thoughtseize effect on turn 1.
Yep. Now, if Ryan has the Abrupt Decay, he should definitely fire it off.
Yep. Here comes Noble Hierarch, and we're going to see a hand of Reflector Mage, Thalia, Phantasmal Image, not Kessage Malcontents, Kitesail Freebooter. I did the same thing you did.
Yep.
and a Mantis Rider.
I feel like there's only 2 real picks here, Reflector Mage and Thalia.
I would absolutely agree with that. I think Nathalia is probably the best of the picks. Reflector Mage is going to take a little bit of time to come off, and the best that leaves it to where the best thing that Sebastian gets to do is double freebooter you.
Yeah. And though, like, yeah, I think those are the 2 real picks. I wouldn't be super surprised if you picked a Mantis Rider, but I don't think that's what you're worried about right now.
Yeah, and I'd actually be surprised to see something like even double freebooter because of the factor that we'd probably want to keep this Phantasmal Image to start double Mantis Ridering.
Yeah. By the way, Ryan's thinking about it a good little bit.
I'm very curious to see where we're going to go. What are we worried about? I guess it is specific to the hand that Ryan could have what we're truly worried about, but I would just assume that Thalia being the card that's going to mess up his turns the most is probably the card that matters the most.
Yeah, like, I think the Reflector Mage is also fine, because if he draws that land and you play your Dark Confidant, you are going to get tempoed a little bit, but I don't think you're going to get tempoed enough to be all that concerned about it.
2 damage going to come in, put Sebastian down to 17. Ryan going to go ahead and fetch up a Swamp, I'm going to assume here, and here comes either Dark Confidant or Tarmogoyf.
That's fair. Like, I'll give credit to either Thalia or to Reflector Mage, but,
Forest, huh?
Nope. So we grabbed the Forest.
I mean,
Thought about
Scavenging
the
Ooze is in play, but...
Scavenging Ooze is in play, but, Like, I prefer to get that Dark Confidant in play. Get that card advantage flowing.
Come on. Come on, land off the top.
No, land off the top does...
Not Plains or Horizon Canopy.
Yeah. Needs to be one of the other lands, but if you pick one off the top, you're going to start swinging for 6 in the air, and that is going to put Ryan on quite the clock.
That is a large hit. And Ryan is left with land, Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf here. Dark Confidant going to come into play. Aether Vial takes up to 2. Come on. Did we hit?
I don't think we... No,
Come on, come on.
No.
Aether Vial, huh?
Oh, God. That is abysmal. Like, that's abysmal.
Well, at least now you get to do Aether Vial plus Freebooter, because you probably didn't want to Freebooter plus... what is the over-under on Phantasmal Image Dark Confidant in this situation?
I think it depends on what's in Ryan's hand, but given what's in Ryan's hand, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Let's say Myra Tarmogoyf. I love Ryan just like, what's in your hand? These.
Yeah.
Let me not even show you.
No, I think that just slamming down a copy of Dark Confidant is probably what you want to be doing here. Though he could be thinking of it as Thalia, which is also fine.
One being taken by Sebastian, we're going to go ahead and play a Thalia. Thalia, I'm a big enough fan of. It doesn't hit on the ground very well right now because of the Scavenging Ooze, and Terminate just picked up right off of the Dark Confidant. Going to make everything a little more awkward.
It's going to make things awkward for Sebastian, but also it's a little awkward for Ryan considering it does cost 3 mana.
Yep. It will take the whole turn, leaving Jund in the situation where it very commonly is of I get 1 spell per turn.
Yep. Ryan just going to go ahead and Sorcery Speed crack that. Now, if he does...
All on the floor.
If he goes ahead and fires off that Terminate, he's going to take 6 in the air next turn, provided that Nebelheart survives.
One thing I don't like about Ryan's sequencing is the way that he used his fetch lands. Last turn he had access to both the Bloodstained Mire and the Verdant Catacombs, and he elected to use the Verdant Catacombs over the Mire to get a Swamp. Here he could have got a second Forest off of the Verdant Catacombs if he used the Mire first.
Yep.
And while it's a little thing, it will potentially matter with both the Treetop Village and the Scavenging Ooze being cards that are in play.
Yeah. No, that's a thing that I see people fall into a lot of times is they just kind of don't think about the order that they play the fetch lands in. And it can lead you to awkward situations, so it's why you should consider most things before you do them.
Mm-hmm. Terminate going to go ahead and take care of Thalia, and Scavenging Ooze is going to rumble. I actually like that our Confidant getting in here too. Sebastian can't really get rid of the Freebooter unless he's okay with getting rid of the clock. I guess he does have the Mantis Rider.
He has the Mantis Rider plus Phantasmal Image, so that's fine.
Yep, Thalia going to go ahead and get eaten by the Scavenging Ooze here, gain Ryan a life, and take Sebastian down to 13. And Sebastian left us a pretty anemic board, but we're going to have Mantis Rider and a second one coming in here this turn.
Oh, he's going to start forcing the issue from Ryan's side.
And Ryan's out of removal again. The Terminate took care of the Thalia there. So yeah, here's Mantis Rider. Here's Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay. Sequencing awkward. Thalia's Lieutenant trigger on the stack file, and the Mantis Rider would have put a counter on the Thalia's Lieutenant as well.
Yeah. Small sequencing thing. I don't know they'll matter a ton, but it definitely is a sequencing thing.
And and Ryan took 5 from that chunk of damage. And Tarmogoyf here not going to do much against the air threat.
Yeah.
I think with specifically like scavenging with a Tarmogoyf, that Extinguishing might actually matter because it's the different. It might at some point in this game be the difference between a chump block and a an actual combat.
Yeah. Though I think that if Ryan, oh, he has the Terminate.
Picked up another Terminate.
That's real good. That's disgustingly good.
Tarmogoyf here is a 4/5 every type except, or the normal types in Graveyard, I believe.
Yeah.
Instant and sorcery from the opponent, and then creature, because that's all Sebastian's ever going to have in the Graveyard.
Yep. So now, Subby has a Reflector Mage.
Okay, Reflector Mage is real good right here.
And he does have the Phantasmal Image, which, if he casts it, it's going to force that Terminate before it resolves.
Okay.
I doubt Ryan
So-
wants to let that.
I'm a fan of Violin,
Sure.
Mantis Rider.
Okay.
Or, no, sorry. Cast Phantasmal Image.
Yeah.
Ryan responds with Terminate Mantis Rider.
And then
In
you
response, you Violin Reflector Mage,
Yeah.
and then the image comes into play as a Reflector Mage and get both of Ryan's threats.
Yeah, that's also a thing you can do. It's the bigger tempo play, and it leaves Ryan basically dead. He has the Treetop Village, but that's not going to give him enough time. Though I think that
I think that's where we're going.
we're about to see.
Okay, Sebastian going to go down to 11. Here is Phantasmal Image. In response, Ryan's going to terminate the Mantis Rider. I
Sure
do
thing.
hope there is a Reflector Mage coming in response.
Even if there isn't,
He's at least
I-
thinking about it.
because his other option is copying the Thalia's Lieutenant, and that's also just fine.
Opinion on copying Tarmogoyf.
I think that's the worst of your options.
I think there are too many creatures in the graveyard
Yeah.
for Scavenging
And-
Ooze.
At this point, you're not trying to create a situation where both have equal power and toughness minions. The Reflector Mage can bounce it, but then
Yep.
that Scavenging Ooze is gonna be a problem.
Image going to go ahead and copy the Thalia's Lieutenant. 2 counters going to go onto Thalia's Lieutenant and another counter onto this Noble Hierarch.
Yep. Now,
That's
Subby's gonna be
okay.
patient on that Reflector Mage.
I would almost like it in response to this fetch.
Yeah, that's fair. But it looks like it didn't matter a ton.
Because getting rid of the Scavenging Ooze for a whole turn cycle is a lot of life
Yeah.
you're getting rid of.
Yeah.
Because especially, okay, so Reflector Mage comes into play here. Scavenging Ooze gets put out. The Treetop Village and the Tarmogoyf are left as blockers. They block both the lieutenants. So that's going to leave you with 4 points of damage coming through. Okay, so you're not going to get through you're not getting through. But you're putting a lot.
You're leaving yourself with also a lot of laptop decks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fine.
Yep, so Mage's going to go ahead and take care of that. Put a counter on both of the Phantasmal Images.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good tempo. Did we miss our triggers? Yep, no. Okay, no, Ryan just kind of passed through everything before Savvy can announce his triggers. That's fine.
Another land for Ryan there. A little awkward for him, but yeah. Okay, so we have 2 blockers. They block the 2 biggest things. Yep, and then Ryan at the current moment will fall to 4. And at the moment, Sebastian's creatures get eaten.
Yep.
But if there's any creature that can come out in this situation, he'll be able to... Is that?
That's a free looter and an Aether Vial.
Okay, Booter Aether Vial isn't terrible. Oh, you can't play
currently
either of them.
cast- Yeah.
Or
He can cast the Aether Vial, he can't cast the free looter,
the booty.
which is unfortunate for him.
Alright, so this can rumble across with a 5. So if Ryan wants to double block, he can, but he's going to go ahead and fall down to 3.
I'm not a huge fan of just taking that. It just seems pretty risky to me.
Mana, there's another vial. Didn't get a good look at what Ryan picked up. I'm going to assume we're going to see Scavenging Ooze come down.
Yeah.
2 mana, there it is.
But
It's at least a spell.
he's dead to a lot of things at this point now.
He is. 2 more mana. Looks like it might be a Bob or another Tarmogoyf. Or potentially a Scavenging Ooze. 2 mana. More than likely one of his threats.
Yes. Well, wait, does he have any more green mana?
He has exactly the Treetop Village.
So he's dead currently if he doesn't do anything else.
What's he dead to?
The board.
Well, if he plays another creature.
If he plays nothing else, he's currently dead.
Yeah.
So he has to play something else. and like he's not left in a great spot, and he's gonna have to chump block next turn with the Scavenging Ooze, even if he is able to play another creature. So
These are the type of games that you can convince me on Aethervial.
yeah,
Because Sebastian has had one land in this whole game.
he's had one land, and he's got some pretty hot plays off those Aether Vials. He could have, like, there were some plays he could have got slightly tighter, but that's fine. Like, he's still kind of bearing Ryan.
Selfless Spirit?
Selfless Spirit, not bad. Gives him a backup, gives him a little bit of insurance plan.
Ryan's just dead right now.
Yeah, he has to have a removal spell. And so that Selfless Spirit will force the removal spell.
But it taps the Noble Hierarch, so he's no longer
Oh, yeah,
dead.
he's no longer dead. Because he doesn't have an Aether Vial, too. Well, that's awkward.
A lot of intricacy to this game, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, just like, man, everything's awkward. Like, at this point, he has to try to get the read of whether or not Ryan's bluffing.
All right, so he cracks the Horizon Canopy
No.
and draws a Mantis Rider.
No. That would be hilarious, but no.
Right-click, attack with all.
Yeah.
What you got, Ryan?
I think this is a good play. It forces it, and you're not killing Scavenging Ooze if he has something like Terminate or Lightning Bolt, but
Okay. And then
okay.
go on.
I sure hope you have something else.
One.
Boy,
Eight
that's not
Mantis
enough.
Rider.
Okay.
Gain a life, go to 4.
Go to 4.
Damage resolve to take 4.
Yeah. And so he's just like, it's 4 damage. That's a
Scavenging Ooze. Okay, yep. All right, so we see Ryan go ahead and pick that game up 2-0.
Wait,
I mean, Sebastian pick up 2-0.
he wasn't dead if you played the other Scavenging Ooze, was he?
Nope.
Okay. Neat.
Definitely not dead.
Okay. Alright, so that was neat. So kind of had a rocky start today with our stream.
I mean, that'll happen when you're gone for 2 weeks.
Gone for 2 weeks. Did bring some interesting matchups. We had some of the top decks in the format. With Jund being in the top 5 now, so that's 3 of the top 5 decks in the format.
I mean, Boggles isn't that far from the
not that
top,
far
and isn't
behind.
Hollow One still pretty up there?
Well, Hollow One, Jund, and Jessica control are the ones I was counting.
Humans.
Humans, yes, that's the one I was missing. Alright, so that's 4 of the top 5 decks.
Yep.
With only missing deck being Affinity.
And then Boggles is like deck 6 or 7.
It's,
so.
it's somewhere in the 6 to 8
And then
range.
Goro's As Foretold.
It's
Yeah, that's S tier. S plus.
that's Upper and Saffron Olive Land.
Needs a ban.
It needs a ban.
But anyways, guys, I do hope you will come in again with us next week. We are going to resume our regular streaming schedule, and we'll be here around 7:30, bringing more quality content.
Do we know what
as
we're going to
always.
be doing next week by any chance?
We do not know right off, but do check in. If you don't like what we're playing, worst case, you just like spend a second, be like, I don't like this. You know.
Go ahead and definitely give us a check, and it will be the week. That weekend will be the Invitational.
Oh
so.
God, is it that close?
Yep. I'm going to actually assume we're probably going to do standard because I know a lot of you guys need standard for the regionals.
Oh yeah, regionals. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Should be great. For anybody that wants to stick around, I believe we will be running a rerun of the stream directly after this. Again, for anyone that turned in a little bit late, we did have some audio problems. So the first 1-2 matches,
I think it's 1.5.
first 1.5 matches-ish will be without audio. But if you end up sticking with, go ahead, watch some games, see a lot of bullying. There's just a ton of bullying today. One
Yep.
player never did anything most of today.
Yep.
But that is the stream for tonight.
And thanks everyone for getting there.
And
Cam.
good night from the basement.